Didn't know the love was war. Then I saw you coming at me. Oh, oh, oh. Somebody that I used to know. Somehow you're my enemy. Oh, 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 oh. I don't wanna fight no more. Origami on the floor, breaking stuff that's so sentimental. Push and pull is all we do. Life is hollow without you. Ooh, without you, without you. Without you, without you. Left hand feels so heavy, anchored to your memory. Ravage through my brain, oh, loose in the china shop. It goes non-stop. I don't wanna fight no more. Origami on the floor, breaking stuff that's so sentimental. Push and pull is all we do. Life is hollow without you. Ooh, without you. Without you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to take a second before we actually get the show started just to say good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday, broadcasting live from Sin Digital Media. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. The last honest place, at least in these United States. We'll get things started in about 60 seconds. I just want to say thank you for your support to this point. And please like and in particular share today's show. Again, when you share the show, more people see it. We'll get started in about 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Many things to discuss. California Karen, armed with a taser, says to her black neighbors that this is a white neighborhood and demands that they act white. You haven't seen this video, we'll play it for you in just a couple of minutes. Also, if you live in the state of Ohio in particular, you should be paying attention because, well, our governor, Mike DeWine, who has no spine whatsoever. Listen, I gave a testicle to the movement about 15 years ago. I'm sorry, I'm all out. Any volunteers to give up parts of their spine so that Mike DeWine can stand upright and do what needs to be done in the face of COVID-19 rising infections in the state of Ohio? Because now, he said that we're going to do a 3-week slowdown, not a shutdown, but a slowdown. I'll give you the details and what it impacts and who it impacts during the first couple of minutes of today's show. As always, if there's something going on your radar screen, you're always welcome to share. 513-873-7134, of course, is my number. We'll get started in 60 seconds.
Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand. I'm back
again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem is nothing. In the discussion, for them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. It's disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you almost spotted the feast. I've been on go mode.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivey with you. We're getting started about 5-10 minutes late. My apologies on that. Had some technical difficulties that I had to iron out. Hey, listen, this ain't a perfect science, but the show is still superlative. The flow is still sharp. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. If you should decide to share your thoughts this morning, hopefully I'm not being drowned out. Yes, good morning, good morning, good morning. Lots of stuff to talk about this morning. As always, today's show was brought to you by the good folks over at Sin Digital Media. Their mission is simple: amplify Black voices. My number, as you should see on the screen here, 513-873-7134. I've had an excellent 24 hours, man. Excellent. Hopefully that you have as well. And there's always lots of things to talk about. Now, on today's show, I want to play for you my interview with Leonard Pitts Jr. Now, to know it's not a part of the advertisement and it's not in the description or the title, but you're going to hear my conversation with Leonard Pitts Jr. I'm a little concerned because when I play these videos, sometimes my family on Spreaker, the chopper, say they can't hear. So I want to give you a heads up. I'm not sure if you want to switch over just for that time frame, but you may not be able to hear it in the audio portion. I'll go back later and add it, but in real time, I'll give you a heads up. You might want to jump over. We'll play it during the first hour of the show, probably about 8:30. Probably about 8:30, we'll play that. It's about 20-25 minutes. We had an interesting conversation back on Monday. My patrons are already hip to that. Speaking of my patrons, I want to say thank you so much for your support. As I said, part of the agreement that I have told you that I will do is to make sure that I come through and acknowledge all of my patrons at least once a month. I like to do it at least once a week. That's just me. But I want to take this minute at the beginning of the show just to shout out all of my patrons. I appreciate your support. Your support means everything. Rhonda, Pamela, Frankie, Tanika, Kush, Charles, Michelle, James, Monique, Bobby, Brandon, Gerald, Kelly, Omar, Mike, Valisa, Mason, Jared, Marcia, Brian, Sean, hey, Jesse, Robin, Ashley, Daryl, K Works, D Wizzle, Tracy, Elizabeth, Cassandra, Buzila, Deshauna, Patricia, Brooke, Lee, Cinnamon. Hey, what's up, Zola, Ray, and Renee? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on board with this. It means everything. We're crowdfunding. I'm crowdfunding so we can take what we do here to the next level. And in my opinion, the show was already successful when we were doing audio. But since going to the video element of it, I mean, the show has just exploded. And it continues to grow because of you. It's people sharing the show. I get messages daily now from people who are coming on board. Like, Nate, I had no idea. You've heard people from all over the country now are finding the program via the magic of social media. That's because of you. I appreciate you. We are just getting started. We are just getting started. Many more voices out there in the works, many more shows in the works. I'm very, very excited. We are doing this together. When we get to our goal and look back, people will be like, wow, to them, it'll seem overnight. Of course, for us, we've been grinding now for a while in the trenches, and we're just getting started. Speaking of voices and podcasts, how many people got a chance to check out the Valet Service podcast last night? Hopefully you did. Here's the cover art from last night if you missed it. Are Black men politically homeless? I thought it was a very interesting conversation and worth your time to check that podcast out. Shout out to Fast Pitch and the crew. Miss Jenkins, I believe it was. The homie Clue Magic. I thought it was a great conversation. Very, very interesting. And I want you, if you have time to and you feel inclined to do so, to check them out as we build their audience and welcome them to CDM. I thought it was a really interesting conversation. and looking for more. Again, that podcast is a live stream. It's a live stream podcast. You can watch it on Facebook at this point, more platforms in the near future. And we might even pop up on your television screen real soon. But hosted by Fast Pitch. I thought she does an excellent job. Some of you might have already known her. She's in the Chop Shop in the comments from time to time. Viva La Fast Pitch. I thought it was a great conversation. Check it out and plug in. It airs on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. So there it is. Again, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to get videos. So whenever we go live with a video from Facebook, you'll get a notification. I'm a subscriber, as you would imagine I would be. And it works great. You know, if I'm on Facebook, even if I'm not, I'll get a little message saying Sin Digital Media is live. And then you'll see a little bit of the title of whatever we're going live with, whether it's this show or whatever show. To me, that's the best way. You can decide whether you want to plug in that day or not by the title or whatever. But it's a good way to never miss an episode of what we're going on here, what we got going on. Again, good morning to you. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts. I think we're going to give away another sweatshirt between today and tomorrow leading up to Black Friday. For those, and I've said it before and they've already been contacted, but for those who were winners over the last couple of weeks, it's on the way. As soon as they get here, I'm going to hand deliver it to you and say thank you personally, face to face, for your support, checking out the Nathan Ivey Show and giving a damn about what we're doing here. Again, I said it for years, I say it again. You could be anywhere in the World Wide Web, anywhere, but you choose to be with us this morning or with me this morning or checking out our podcast, and I appreciate you 100%. Again, good morning to you. Let's get to business, shall we, family? Let's get to business. Many things to discuss this morning. I want to talk about this California Karen who had a taser while demanding that her black neighbors act white. Some of you that might have been on Twitter, if you're a Twitter person, you probably already hip to this. It's a sister named Jariel, at Ja Rule, JAA_Rule. I like that. JAA_Rule. You can find her. She posted this just a couple days ago. This happened at her home. And she posted, I am tired of living this way. I am tired of passive aggressiveness. I am tired of the fake smiles. I am tired that I don't feel safe in a house that I've lived in for 10 plus years because of the color of my skin. I mean, how would you feel if somebody knocked on your door or confronted you at your front door with a taser in their hand? How would you react? And the California Karen, again, I like to talk about this because I think we should put these people on blast. I think we should be working wherever we live. Like I live in Cincinnati, Hamilton County in Ohio. I think we should be working to push lawmakers to wherever possible to create protections from these Karens and Darrens. And many of you know we are doing just that right now. And at the same time, I think that as media outlets, we should be putting these cats on blast as much as possible. Let the whole world know, oh, you want to be racist? Oh, okay. You got a problem with black folks? Oh, okay. Cool. Put you on blast. If it costs you your job, it costs you your job. It is what it is. You know me, I ain't got no tears for you. I ain't gonna sit around and hold your hand like, oh, you lost your job? Put these folks on blast is what I say. Put them on blast. And that's exactly what I aim to do this morning. Now, I'm not in California, but you know, we at least have one listener from California. The homie Drop Squad 52. So who knows, you know, but this is what I think media should be doing. Black media should be doing. Put these folks on blast, put their face out there as much as possible. Let everybody know that if you want to step into this arena, you can get that work too. We'll put you on blast. Let everybody know. I love it. Here in the city of Cincinnati, there's been a couple of times when the Darrens got all out of pocket and I saw it. And me and the Choppers, we formed Voltron along with some other good people here. And there was a situation that happened over at, I think it was a Kroger store in Oakley. Remember this? Some of y'all might remember this. And they had a younger Darren that was working at the cash register. And he asked his sister, like, why do you have an EBT card and you got a cell phone, right? It's completely out of pocket. She posted on Facebook, we formed Voltron. I made a couple of phone calls over there and talked with the manager. And eventually they moved him and or he was fired. Hooray, hooray. That's what time it is, Karen, Darren, and Darren. I mean, do you? You know, you got that Karenisms and the Darrenisms in you. Go ahead and do you, homie. But when we find out, we're going to put you on blast, and then we're going to make TikTok videos. We're going to laugh about it. That's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? We will not stop, period. And we're going to work with legislators to create legislation, laws, and protections against your ass, too. That's what we're going to do. We ain't playing no games with you. You want to go out like this, go out like this. So this is 2 separate videos I'm going to play for you, like part 1 and part 2. The first one is like, this brother like walks outside his home. She's like on his property at his doorstep. Just imagine this for a second. Like, what would you do? How would you react to this? This is some wild-ish right here. You can't even just chill. Mofos all in your house, scaring the bejesus out of you. And I can understand why they might be scared. Now, there is some extreme language in this. I want to give you a heads up. It's a morning show. As you know, I'm sensitive to children and parents because I have children. I am a parent. My children hear me talking about the show. My son doesn't plug in, but my daughter plugs in. She's in high school. She does plug in and listen to the show. She does. I keep telling folks. Okay. So just be aware of that. Good morning, everybody, all the early risers. Again, early risers rule this world. There's only so much time in the day. You got to get up early if you're going to get anything done. Get up at 3:30. Get up at 4:30. Get up with me. You know what I'm saying? You can send me a message. I'm usually up 4:30 at the latest. I love it. I personally love getting up when it's dark outside. It makes me feel like I'm ahead of the competition. You know what I'm saying? Working on whatever I'm working on, whether it's this show or whatever. You know, I got children and a wife. My day is done. I had plans today, but my day is, my time don't belong to me. It is what it is. But I love it, man. I mean, the best part of my life right now is, of course, what I'm doing, but it's the family, man. That's the best thing I got going on is them. It's the best thing I've got going on, me and the wifey. But any parents, you know what I'm talking about. My time ain't my time no more. I gave up. Surrender. You got me. I'm a dad. I'm a father. Derek writes, 4:30 a.m. That's my time every day. There it is. The people that run this world are up early. They ain't sleeping. What did Puffy say? You can sleep when you dead. You ain't got no time to sleep if you're trying to accomplish something. Get your ass up and make it happen, Captain. You can do it. I'm up. You can send me a message on Facebook. I will respond. There are folks that work overnight and they send me messages and I respond in real time. I wonder if they are surprised that I'm up. I'm up. I'm not where I'm trying to be yet. I can't afford to sleep. I'll sleep when I get where I'm trying to get to. Maybe. But then when I get there, I got to stay there. So, sleep, what's that? We don't need no sleep. We early risers. Sleep is for people that's comfortable where they are. You accomplished all your goals. Cool. You go to sleep then. I'm not there yet. I don't have time to sleep. But what about you? Again, 513-873-7134. So I'm going to play this video for you. I'm going to play the video interview with Leonard Jr. You may find it interesting. And you can expect more of that. I'm branching out. Like, this show has always been more than just politics. Quite frankly, I get bored with the same old conversations. I'll be straight with you. Like it or love it, take it or leave it. It is what it is. I can't talk about the same stuff all the time. I personally get bored. And my natural inclination is I'm just a curious person. I'm very curious about the world around us. And I have multiple interests. My interests beyond just politics. I was talking with a brother the other day who we may end up teaming up and working on a podcast, right? And he's like, well, Nate, you usually talk about politics. And I was like, well, yeah, I talk about what needs to be talked about. But my core nature, my first instinct is I'm just a curious person. I want to talk about all the curiosities of the world around us. Hopefully you can join me for that. I'm into a full exploration of our culture, our history, and everything in between. So get ready for, more of those types of conversations in the near future. I mean, this week and beyond. All right. My interests are much more than just politics. Although, that's what time it is. We got to talk about what's happening. I ain't gonna shy away from it. When I talk about it, I enjoy it, but I want to tell you, give you a heads up, like, why is Nate talking to this person? Because I'm curious. Because it's something interesting. So you can expect that. I mean, authors, fiction authors, all kinds of different people out there doing great things. And something tells me that I'm not alone in that. You're probably the same way. You probably have a lot of different interests that draw your attention or you're curious about, right? I'm sure, right? We'll talk about it. Also, coming up today, we have to talk about Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, who, I'll say it again, has no spine whatsoever. I don't even think he's a vertebrate. He might be an invertebrate. You know what I'm saying? He has no spine whatsoever. He was born without a spine. Because, some of the moves that he's making make no sense whatsoever. Why are we not shutting this ish down? Talking about we gonna slow things down and do a curfew for 3 weeks. A curfew? Somewhere COVID is like, that ain't gonna work, boo. Somewhere COVID is laughing at Ohio. A curfew? What is a curfew gonna do? How's a curfew from 10 until that starts at 10 p.m. gonna stop weddings with the super spreaders? Somebody sent me a link about this super spreader wedding they had out in Milford. Like 30 people got COVID. I don't mean to laugh, but I was reading it more in prep for the show this morning. I was reading the quotes from these people in these damn weddings. Y'all been living together all this time. Why don't you live together a little bit longer and push that off until you can really enjoy your wedding? Talking about, this was the bride. She says she's walking down the aisle. She noticed that people didn't have masks on. Talking about, I think it was the dancing. Because, people be all up in your face, dancing. This is my Trump. Dancing. And without a mask on. You think? You think that might spread COVID-19? I don't know. You might be on a limb on that one. Ridiculous. We'll talk about it. Derek writes, you talk about everything. You used to talk to O.J. Hancock. That's right, man. Man, what's up with O.J. Hancock? He is a real superhero, man. What's up with the real O.J. Hancock? He was stupid, man. Talking about something. You know what O.J. meant then? He said that's what the ladies used to say. O.J. Because his name was J, not O.J. But that's black men. Yeah, black men do anything. They got to incorporate how much of a ladies' man they are. This mofo talking about some O.J. Hancock. It was a lot of fun, though, man. It was a lot of fun, man. Shout out to O.J. Hancock. He was a real superhero, though. Like in real life, that brother in real life, minus the costume. He had a costume and everything. Some of you folks don't remember O.J. Hancock. Man, this brother used to come down to the studio in his full Hancock O.J. outfit on. On his chest, it read "The Real O.J. Hancock." He had the dreads like Predator and a face mask and a cape and everything, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, man. People used to hate on it, but it was a lot of fun. Shout out to O.J. I'm not sure what happened to him. But in real life, that brother, in real life, he was a superhero. It's like, for real. Let me tell a story real quick since you brought him up. In real life, the brother survived and beat an addiction, a serious addiction, and then dedicated his life to going back to the streets to try to save other people from their addiction of well. Like, as literally, the dude used to walk the streets, and he might still be doing it. I just lost contact with him. OJ, if you out there, man, hit me up. Literally, the dude used to walk the streets of Cincinnati, trying to talk with people that, that he perceived to have addictions, counseling, leading sessions, the whole 9 yards. Like, dude was a real superhero, in my opinion. People used to clown on him because they was hating, but it is what it is. But again, enough of that. I want to play this for you. Now, listen to my Spreaker family, my audio family. You may not hear this, and I hate that. I hate that. But I want to play this for you, and then I'll play the audio as well so that you don't miss it. You got to hear this. Matter of fact, I might do it the opposite way. Matter of fact, let me do that first. Let me play this for you. You got to see this. Let me play the audio first, and I'll play the video later because I don't want. That's my core family right there. I can't leave them out. I got to always make sure they right. Yeah, California Karen. She had a taser in her hand. Have you seen this? Let me put this up again for you can see it. The woman has a taser in her hand. You can't see it right there. Hold on 1 second. Let me grab this for you. You got to see this, man. Karens are everywhere. Karens are everywhere. Oh man, no disrespect to the Karens out there. There's with the community. You're not with this nonsense because there's a lot of good folks out there. But let me put this up on the screen. Look at her. Look at her. Could you imagine if this shows up at your front door? She had a taser in her hand. Now, why does she have her taser in her hand? Well, she said she had a taser in her hand because, well, her gripe was that, see a little dog right there? And look at the dog's face. The dog is like, this mofo, here she go again. Damn, Karen. God damn, Karen. Here we go again. Always getting me into something. I told you I didn't want to come over here. But she has originally, the way this whole started, at least from the Karen's perspective, it's like a whole new species of white folks, the Karens. There are the whites, and then there are the Karens and the Darrens. But anyway, so apparently she said that her little pooch right there, her little dog, looks like it's well grown. I guess she takes care of the dog. Anyway, she says that her dog was attacked by her black neighbor's pit bull. So that the reason that she came over with a taser in her hand is because she was afraid of the pit bull. And then her neighbors were like, quickly corrected her, like, nah, Karen, don't try that, because our dog ain't even outside no more. Why are you over here with a taser in your hand? Not in your pocket, but in your hand. Now, is she just clueless? Is she just clueless? A clueless Karen who's kind of like, she don't really understand the way that's going to be perceived? But you knock on somebody's door with a taser in your hand, how is that not perceived as a threat? How do you not take that as a threat? And a lot of media outlets, primarily up in California, have picked up on this. But to me, this is a nation. Anytime a Karen or a Darren gets out of hand, it should be picked up by the media. If for no other reason than just to social media shame them. What I hope is that Karen has a job and that the boss on the job is a person with some damn sense, and then she has to deal with consequences. I'll be honest with you. That's what I'm all about. You run up on black people with a taser. See, black people can't do that. Could you imagine as a black person running up on a white person's house with a taser in your hand? They wouldn't even come to the door. Like, a part of me feels like this dude handled this all the wrong way. Like, a part of me feels like, and you tell me this, family, but a part of me feels like he shouldn't even open the door. He should just call the boys on her like, hey, there's a strange white woman with what appears to be a weapon in her hand. Like, play her the way they play us. Is that wrong? But see, black folks don't do that because when you black in America, when you call the police, even when you're in the right, you don't know how the police respond. They're going to show up and act. You don't have no idea. Let me play this for you. You got to hear this. It'll roll in a second.
We were raised around black people. And all my officers were very nice.
I got everything
on
camera. So you can leave, please. You can get off my property. My dog has never messed with your dog.
You would do anything to me again, I'll call the police.
Call the police. Everything's on camera. I'll be happy to show him. I don't want to see that dog outside. Well, he's going to be outside because I have a right to have him just like every other person in here. He ain't done nothing to you.
Now, I don't own a weapon. I mean, a dog. I'm not really a dog person. Quite honestly, I'm just too selfish with my time to have a dog. And I'm not picking up no animal's crap. I look at dog owners all the time like, you really walking around with a bag in your hand full of canine feces? That's not what I think of as a good day. You do you. I ain't hating on you. But how dare this woman roll up to somebody else's house talking about, I better not see your dog outside. Can you leave, please?
He ain't done nothing to your dog.
Why are you so nasty?
I'm nasty by explaining to you that my dog hasn't done anything wrong. You came over here to my house on my property.
But the dog came to my property.
Look, I've been nice to you. I've helped you and your family. I've always talked to you.
You've never helped me in my family. You've never done a goddamn thing.
You coming over here?
All you've done is been negative.
No, I haven't. I'm going to ask you to please leave my property. I don't know if you're just having a bad day or whatever, but today ain't.
I'm not having a bad day, but you know what? You're a black person in a white neighborhood, and you're acting like one. Why don't you act like a white person in a white neighborhood?
That's the money shot right there. She said, look, You're a black person in a white neighborhood. Huh? See, that just goes to show you, when you hear black people talking about black neighborhoods and white neighborhoods, sometimes the media would look at us like, why are you starting that racist stuff? Why are you talking racist, right? No, we're just simply describing the world that we live in. Y'all created these distinctions. A white neighborhood, a black neighborhood. Before you say there are no such things, the fact of the matter is there are. Like right now, I am broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio. Did you know that Cincinnati, Ohio is one of the most segregated cities in America? Like literally. Our schools are segregated. Our neighborhoods are segregated. We live in completely segregated lives in this city. Yeah, there's a little bit of mingling here and there, but by and large, very segregated. You already know about Sunday morning. Like pre-COVID, when people was going to church, the most segregated time of the week. It's the reality of it. And the reason why Cincinnati is so segregated is because the elites, primarily wealthy white folks, like it that way. Hey, I mean, classism is real. There's wealthy black folks that like it that way. They love it. You come to Cincinnati, hit me up, man. I'll show you all around once COVID leaves, right? I'll be your ambassador to the city. I know all the hot spots, all the black-owned places to go. We'll have a great time together once COVID leaves, right? And I'll show you around town and give you a little bit of a history lesson about what you're actually seeing. But this, he said, why don't you act like a white person? What's that mean?
It's all on camera.
I don't give a shit what it is.
All right, well, you can go back over to your house and you can have a nice day. That's what you can do. And I'm going to keep walking my dog around this neighborhood.
And I look forward every time you know, your parents were nice.
Yeah, my parents, they
were very nice.
Is there a problem to why you're yelling on our property?
It's all right. She can.
Would you come over here?
She got a taser. It's all on camera.
You said what?
I have a small little dog.
Okay, but you don't have to talk to anybody any disrespectful type of way.
You have a pit bull that came after her.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
When?
It's on camera.
Today, right now.
Can we see the footage?
I got the footage right here.
Let's see.
So when she lies and calls.
And also, let her record you coming over here.
It's already.
Why don't you record everything you can?
It is recorded right now.
We're not talking about anything except that I have a small little dog and you have a pit bull.
And you're yelling with the taser. Why?
I brought it over here
for
because
why?
of the dog. The dog attacked my dog.
The dog's not even outside, ma'am.
He was outside. He was in front here.
Where's your dog injured? He attacked him. Where's your dog injured?
He didn't attack the dog. I have it on camera.
You know what?
What?
You guys are acting like black people.
You know what? You guys are, what did she say? She said, you know what? You guys are acting like that was the end of part one. Here's part two. We're going to pick up right there.
The dog attacked my dog.
The dog's not even outside, ma'am.
He was outside. He was in front
Where's your
here.
dog injured? He attacked him. Where's your dog injured?
He didn't attack the dog. I have it on camera.
You know what?
What?
You guys are acting like black people. And you should act like black people.
We what?
You're acting like Karen.
I was raised in Oklahoma around
Wait,
black
can
people.
you repeat that one more time? We're acting like what?
I was raised in Oklahoma City where there were tons of black people.
But we're acting like what?
You're acting like people that aren't normal.
Okay. This will be
You're
real
acting like
nice
people that
when
aren't
you're on
normal.
the news,
Yep.
when you're on social media, get the fuck off
Get
the
off our
property.
property. Get off our
Get the
property.
fuck
You
off
know,
the
I have a
property.
top secret clearance. You
I
know
don't
what
give
these
a
people
fuck,
are?
bitch. Get the fuck off the property.
Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Since we're acting like black people, right? We're acting like black people, and that's not normal.
Most people don't act like you do.
How are we acting? How are we acting? You came over here with a taser. You
I came over here because your pit bull attacked my little
He
dog.
didn't attack your dog. Not at all.
Your son was out here with it.
And he didn't attack the dog. The dog, I saw the dog. I saw you pet the dog. You
I
pet
didn't
the
pet
dog.
the dog. I just pet the dog because I wanted to see if he was okay.
You didn't pet the dog, but you pet the dog because you wanted to see if he was okay.
Why don't you record all this and put it on?
I am recording it. You about to be famous.
Do you know what? You're going to go?
You're about to be famous. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go?
You're going to go to hell.
Okay.
Because I'm going to sue the hell out of you, both of you.
All right.
All of you.
All right.
Get out.
Is that what happens when you get sued? You go to hell? She didn't even know what the hell she was talking about. She was from Tulsa, so you know what they do to black folks in Tulsa. Mass graves. You ever heard of Black Wall Street? I say, listen, to anybody watching this video, and I've done this myself, and I'm telling you, Karens don't like it, but I don't give a damn. Take your phone out and record their ass and put it on social media. You do when you having these interactions, whether it be wherever you might be, you got to record it. You got to record it. Because mofos will lie on you in a second. Say you did things you didn't really do. I'm telling you, I've done it before. It's hilarious, man. Oh, my God. They get so upset when you do it. They're going to get mad, too. They might try to snatch your phone out your hand. So be ready for that. Because Karens and Darrens love to do that. But what do you think about that? Like, a part of me feels like, dude shouldn't even open the door. A part of me feels like he should have just, like, called the police and did to her what they do to us. Although it would have been factual. You should have just been like, police, there's a strange woman with a weapon in her hand. What's the 93 Grandin Street? Boom. No, didn't mean if anybody's on Grandin Street, I just made it up. Okay. That's what I feel like you should have did. Don't even have no confrontations with no Karens like that. You ain't got to do that. That's what the popo was for. Because if you flip this, let's say you flip it, and he's all in his feelings, and he grabs the taser, walks across the street or wherever he was to this next door, to his neighbor's house, all up in his feelings. You think she would have opened the door and talked with him? No, she would have called the boys on him. That's what black folks got to start doing. Don't waste your time trying to explain anything. You got a case, okay, send it to me in the mail. My lawyer talk to your lawyer. You ain't got to talk about nothing. What's there to talk about? Just call the boys. Hey, boys, we've got a Karen with a weapon. What kind of weapon? I don't know. It looks like a weapon. Is it a gun? Is it a knife? It's a weapon. Get here quick. Hang up the phone. Now, whatever they do, when they show up, that's on Karen. That's on her. You want us to get all wild and the police mistake the taser for a gun? We know what that feels like. It is what it is. Now, some of y'all think that's harsh, don't you? Don't you? Is that harsh? Oh, what about empathy? What about feelings? Okay, well, you do you. I'm just giving you the best advice I can give you. I would say the same thing to my daughter. Don't open the door. Don't go out there talking to her. For what? She talking nonsense. But that's the nature. What you saw was the good nature of black people right there. Those are some good black folks right there. Look like some millennials from the photographs I saw on Twitter. Some good black people. There was salt of the earth black people that tried to explain to her and talk to her. That's the nature of black folks. We try to be good. We don't want to call the boys on you. We really don't want to call the boys at all. Boys equal black folks. And I ain't talking about the boys from, that Amazon Prime Time. I'm talking about the people with the rollers and the badges and the guns, the police. Black folks don't want to deal with the police even when we right. Because we've learned through history that right don't mean a damn thing when it comes to black folks and police. You can be 100% in your right. And you say something like your voice goes up a little bit and the officer's like, well, look here, buddy. And there's no call for that. Now you the problem. Look here, buddy. I mean, let me handle this, buddy. One more round out of you, mister. This kind of nonsense. We ain't got time for that. What would you have done in a situation like that? 513-873-7134. I wouldn't even answer the door. To be honest with you. I looked outside the door like, what the hell? Boys, come quick. They got a weapon. Shut the door. Long she ain't beating on my windows and breaking no property, we ain't got to come outside. I ain't got to pay you no mind. You know what I'm saying? My dog's inside. Nothing to talk about. When the boys show up, or the police, I'm saying boys, but when the police show up, they'll let you know what time it is. They'll knock on the door. Then we'll open the door. You know what I'm saying? We'll do you like that. Hit you with that Herschel Walker. Stiff arm the hell out of you. That's what I would have did. What would you have done? 513-873-7134. I'm very, very curious. What would you have done? Brenda's in the chop shop. She writes, happy Wednesday. Hey, good morning to you, Brenda. As always, a pleasure to see you. Good morning, everybody. CG Dub, a.k.a. Chocolate Girl Wonder, which is a great tag. That should be a series, a book, a podcast, something. She writes, good morning, Choppers. Good morning to you. Pat writes, good morning. The Minister of Information is in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate. What's up, Minister? What's up, brother? You in Cincinnati? You on the road? Miss D writes, greetings. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hey, good morning, everybody. Tracy writes, hi. CG Dub writes, Nate, Bessie S ain't ish. She was on L Dub show and wouldn't speak on Trump. Hashtag shocking. Oh, was she? Yeah. I'm aware of that because shout to Omar, shout to Fame. They actually sent a tweet to Bessie Sunderman saying, yeah, well, we heard you on with Lincoln, but you should go talk with Nathan. But you know, that's what it's always going to be the path of least resistance. We've already seen that. It's going to be the path of least, no disrespect at all to the big bro, Lincoln Ware. He and I are still very cool. But you know, it's just the way, it's about a perception thing. And then the rationale is, well, he's got a bigger audience. So if we're going to talk with the black community, I mean, it's completely racist in it, quite honestly. To think that any one show can speak to all of the community is, I think, racist, but it is what it is. But we've heard the rationales. We heard this with Bruce, but okay. It is what it is, Betsy. We'll talk eventually. I'm sure we will. I don't plan on going anywhere. So who knows? Just like Bruce. You know, Bruce tried to dodge me, and guess what happened? NAACP forum. Woohoo. So, I mean, you know, hey, I ain't going nowhere. We'll see what happens. But that's great. I'm glad she talked with L-Dub. Was it a good interview? Did she talk about some of that ish? Again, I didn't hear it. I might circle back and check it out. But I'm glad she's talking with some black folks. That's good. It's good to hear. Ray writes, she said she wouldn't speak on Trump. He asked her about Trump. Good. He should have asked her about Trump. Great. I'm going to ask her about some other things. Like I told you, I got a bone to pick with her because I feel like she tries to dance on the bodies of shooting victims just to make herself look good. And we ain't have, she got to be called out on that one. I'm just the guy to do it. Ashley writes, good morning, Nate and Choppers. Baby Chopper is home with me because someone tested positive for COVID at her learning center. Yeah. My son is at home with us. And again, that is a privilege that we have. It doesn't come without some, I won't say difficulties, but it doesn't come without some work on mom and dad's part. It is what it is. You know, like I said, my time is not my time. My time is their time. It is what it is. When you have children, you're not an adult. You're a parent. Parents don't have the same rules and they don't have the same rights and privileges as adults. Maybe one day, like when I get like 65 or so, then I can be an adult. But right now I'm a parent. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers with a Z. Mason Muller writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flows rated E for everybody. Hashtag no spine DeWine. Hashtag not your Botham John party. Hashtag how's your relationship with your governor? Hashtag hey, Mr. Watt. Hashtag still looking for former pastor campaign staffers to testify. Hashtag hit dog will holla or hide. Speaking of which, you know, it seems to me, I've come to the opinion, and I talked about this Monday and Friday, that in my opinion, Christopher Smitherman may have a big decision to make. He may have a big decision to make. And this might be a question of his blackness. Now, you might say that's fair to say. You might not say it's fair to say. It's up to you. But I can imagine a lot of people are calling Christopher Smitherman right now to let them know or let him know that they're interested in being potentially on city council. Because if you don't know it, let me tell you right now, Christopher Smitherman, as I understand it, has been designated by Jeff Pastor to decide who will take Jeff Pastor's seat on city council. Now, I stand by everything I said about Jeff Pastor and Tamaya Denard. If I rock with you, I rock with you. Okay, even if you do something ish, I ain't gonna all of a sudden start saying stuff differently that I said before. I don't do that. Now, if you out there and do something dumb, you on your own, honey. And I'm gonna say that. But I don't turn my back and I don't say things lightly, number one. I don't say things lightly. If I say something, I mean it. I don't say it for any other reason than I mean it. And I stand by what I said. I thought that Tamaya Denard had the potential to be the next mayor. And I thought that while she was on city council, she was doing an excellent job, in my opinion, in terms of the policies that she was standing by and what she was actually saying. Now, her actions are on her. She got to deal with that. Same thing with Jeff Pastor. I thought that Jeff Pastor had the potential, and I said it many times before. Choppers, y'all remember me saying this. I thought that Jeff Pastor had the potential to do something big for the black community. We need black people to be in the Republican Party. I'll say it again. Hold on a second. I gotta make sure I'm looking right. Yeah, okay, I'm cool. We need black people to be a part of the Republican Party that's got some damn sense. We don't need you shucking and jiving. We don't need the Sambo routine. But if you, for whatever reason, jive with what the Republican Party stands for, okay, cool. Don't punk out. Don't sell us out. Do what needs to be done. You might even transform the party from within. I believe that 100%. I believe that about Jeff. Now, what he did is that's on him. Speaking of which, man, somebody made a meme of Jeff. Can I share this, bro? Can I share this, bro? I need to share this, man. Now, listen. I'm only sharing this because fair is fair. That's it. Yeah, somebody made a meme of Jeff Pastor. And it's kind of like morphed with Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's funny. It's funny. And so I want to share this with you. Is this okay, bro? I think it's okay. If it's not, then you got to hit me up quick because I'm about to share it. Y'all gonna be mad at me for a minute, but it's okay. It's okay, B. It's okay. Y'all got to see this. Hold on, let me share it real quick. Oh, man, I'm going to hell. But hopefully they got a radio station down there, or at least they got the internet so I can still do my show. So it'll be okay. It'll be okay. A listener made this. I put it that way. I won't put his name out there unless he wants to take credit for this. You know, somebody made this. They made one called Tamaya 6ix9ine. Okay, well, fair is fair. So somebody made this meme. Check this out. This is Jeff Pastor and Tekashi 6ix9ine. Y'all wrong for that. Let it sink in. Go ahead and screenshot it if you want to. Let it sink in. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong, man. But the internet remains undefeated. It is what it is. It is what it is, homie. Yeah, I'm going to put it up there again. I'll put it up again. Go ahead. Y'all wrong, man. Why is City Hall in the background? You was wrong, bro. You was so wrong for this, man. And why am I participating? Why am I participating in this? This ain't funny. This is not funny. Stop it, Nate. Stop it. I'm going to hell, but as long as there's an internet, I can still get Wi-Fi, still do my show. It'll be okay. Be down there with Tupac and Elvis. 513-873-7134. That's hilarious. Goddamn Photoshop. Damn Photoshop. How you make that, bro? How you make that? How you make that? Fast Pitch writes, DeWine is right. Y'all know COVID comes out at night with the freaks, like Houdini said. DeWine? That's hilarious. DeWine? That's a new one on me. So let's talk about DeWine, a.k.a. Mike DeWine, who has no spine. He has no spine whatsoever. He is the spineless wonder that y'all elected. Y'all voted for him. I ain't vote for him. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't do it. But starting Thursday, Ohioans are under a curfew with exceptions. Where's all the 1776 people, right? You know what I'm saying? Pull out the bagpipes and the flutes. You know what I'm saying? Get it out. And a forthcoming state health order requires Ohioans to stay at home between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. Now, for the vast majority of people, you at home anyway. Who's out at 10 p.m.? The goal is to cut down on social gatherings in bars and in homes that anecdotally are causing some of the spread. Now, this has to be a toothless tiger. That's one way of putting it. This is all bark and no bite. No one is afraid of a toothless canine. Have you ever seen a toothless canine? Bark, 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 but what you gonna do about it because you don't have any teeth? Now, law enforcement is not being pressed to enforce this. This is just sort of like, you got to do it on good behavior. Here's what I will say to Mike DeWine, who has no spine, the spineless wonder who y'all elected to be the governor of Ohio, is that this is not going to stop a damn thing. Because this is all just, compulsory, right? It's all about individuals taking it upon themselves. What I would say is that the type of person that's going to pay attention to this is the type of person who's already been doing this. The kind of person that's going to adhere to this stay at home, personal. This is like an OR bond, essentially. It's your own personal recognizance. The kind of person that's going to adhere to that is already doing what they're supposed to be doing. The reason why I had no problem with CPS shutting down and thought it was the right thing to do. The reason why I'd have no problem, again, this affects me personally and business-wise. So miss me with the whole, well, Nate, you get to work from home, so stop it. Knock it off. It affects all of us. The reason why I think that I'm okay with us going to a shutdown is because of the incorrigibles. It's that element of the population in Ohio that just don't give a you-know-what. They're not going to wear a mask. They're not going to stop going to the bars. They're not going to stop dancing. They're not going to stop doing whatever they do. They don't believe in COVID. They still think that Trump won by 3 million votes. The world is flat. The moon is made of cheese. And, they believe it. The Atlanteans are somewhere deep in the Pacific Ocean. They believe in all this nonsense. And there's nothing that you and I can say that's going to change it whatsoever. It is a waste of our time to even try. Why are we trying? What is this supposed to do? This is again, toothless tiger. It makes no sense. A curfew begins 10 p.m. on Thursday, November 19th, and it ends December 10th. DeWine said he will reevaluate the order at that time. Who is he so damn afraid of? Is he afraid of the business community? Is that who it is? Is he afraid that, there might be a white militia? And again, could you imagine if it was a black militia that in Michigan had a plot to kidnap and potentially assassinate Gretchen Whitmer? We'd still be talking about it. If that was a black militia that the FBI has stopped and prevented a plot from kidnapping and potentially executing, it was going to try her for treason, like crimes against common sense or some nonsense like that, right? The media and law enforcement would still be talking about it. But since it's a white militia, it's kind of like, it's only white spun domestic terrorism. So, NBA games. NFL games, Bengals versus Steelers. I just got to make that point real quick. As a black person, I got to make that point. If that was black people in Michigan that did that, it would be taken far more seriously. They still be talking about it. They might even shut the whole damn country down just because of that. So maybe that's what Mike DeWine is afraid of. He's afraid of these white domestic terrorists potentially in Ohio rising up like weeds to, hatch some kind of plot, I guess. Or he's afraid that it might cost him re-election. Like I told you, leadership delivers hard truths. Leadership does what needs to be done, period. If it costs you a second term, it costs you a second term, period. You got to do what's best for the people. That's why you said you ran. Mike DeWine with no damn spine? It is ridiculous, man. This is laughable. The only reason I'm not laughing is because it's so serious, folks. It's our lives at stake here. How will this be enforced? DeWine said he doesn't expect police or local law enforcement officers to pull people over in violation of the curfew. You know what that means, folks? You know what that means? That means there is really no curfew. There ain't no curfew. That's just a suggestion. We suggest that you stop doing these things. Now, for the bar owners, the people that serve alcohol, then you can't serve alcohol after 10 p.m., I think, or maybe 11 p.m. So there's some real serious consequences for you. And it looks like they're going to be pushing this and really focusing this on the businesses. So more pressure on the business owners. But y'all can't control nobody in their own house. How you going to control somebody from having a social gathering at their house if you're not going to enforce it? And law enforcement is not being told to do anything different. For the businesses, though, the penalty is a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable up to 90 days in jail and a $750 fine, which they're probably not even going to do. Because the only person that went to jail, or the persons that went to jail, were black folks in Hamilton County. This is laughable. Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Now, Rashawn Davis went to jail for what, 2 weeks? At the beginning of all of this, because he said F the coronavirus. Meanwhile, Ohio was out there having dance-offs, dance competitions. Life goes on. Nobody goes to jail whatsoever. I still got to make that point. And by the way, something tells me that Hamilton County taxpayers are going to have to pay that brother because of the overreach of local law enforcement, including the man who was just reelected, who don't give a damn about your black ass, and that's Joe Dieters. I'm just going to let you know that. So all the folks that they're like, well, he didn't do nothing wrong. Well, we're going to have to pay his ass off. Watch. He should have did this. I told you. This is crazy. In the middle of a pandemic. Have you noticed what's happening in the grocery stores, family? In the grocery stores, what have they started doing now in the grocery stores? They've gone back to rationing the things that you can buy. You can only buy one of this or no more than two of this now. Big ass signs. Better go get your TP in. You to get your paper towels. Everybody taking it seriously except for Mike DeWine with no spine whatsoever. Do you still think he's handling the coronavirus well? This mofo went on national TV talking about something. Trump did a great job with coronavirus. Huh? Really? Did he? Really? When? Huh? Now, thankfully, you'll still be able to get your takeout because some things are important during the pandemic. You got to get your takeout in, right? Lord forbid you actually cook your own food. So I'm here to tell you, if you're a takeout person, you're the takeout king of Hamilton County, you're the takeout queen of Price Hill, don't worry about it. You can still get your delivery and pickup orders. That makes perfect sense. A whole lot of people in Ohio are going to die because of Mike DeWine and this AKA the spineless wonder. And you can still go to the casino. Did you know that? This is hilarious. Now, think about this, though. This does include the time that many people are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving, so get ready for that. Can my wedding reception extend past 10 p.m.? No. The curfew will also apply to wedding venues. So, there it is. That's the new reality. That's what having no leadership in the city of Cincinnati or Hamilton County or state of Ohio really looks like. But who's surprised by this? We know Mike DeWine has no spine. Look at that case that what happened in Beaver Creek. He didn't do the right thing in that case. He bent over backwards to make sure those officers got away with killing that young man who was basically harmless. Remember this? Wouldn't even show the video. So who's surprised that Mike DeWine still doesn't have a spine? Now, on Facebook, I was looking for volunteers, but F that. He don't need a spine. I'm not going to ask you to give up your spine for this man. Nah, you're going to have to go to the afterlife without a spine. He should not be allowed into heaven if there is a heaven without a spine, in my opinion. But that's just me. I'm just spitballing here, family. That's just me. You tell me what you think about it. What do you think about Mike DeWine's new curfew? It's a curfew. Yeah, it's a curfew that's not enforceable. That's like your mother saying, you better be up on this porch at 10 p.m., but if you don't, then there's no ramifications. Would you have been on the porch at 10 p.m.? Hell no, you've been all over the damn neighborhood. Again, Mike DeWine, the good people of Ohio that have good sense, we are already doing what we need to do. You're going to have to do something serious to deal with the incorrigible element. You know, the people that, you know, when the last days actually happen are going to end up being worse than whatever the natural catastrophe is. Those people, they're going to be worse than the damn catastrophe. I could go on for days, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go straight back to the Chop Shop and say good morning. I see Grax is in the house. He writes, good morning, Alt Middle. Good morning to you. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers. Cincy Tigress writes, good morning. Pastor 69. I just saw this, bro, so I guess it was okay for me to put it out there. He got the avatar. Pastor 69, you is hilarious. What it do? Question mark. What the business is? Question mark. Word on the street. Pastor knows how to handle this. Hey, turnabout is fair play, man. It is what it is. You got to roll with the punches. Mike Jones writes, good morning, Choppers. He writes, Pastor 69, huh? I'm going to say the Choppers are very creative people. We'll put it that way. Tanika writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers. Today is my 33rd year on Earth. I'm so grateful and blessed to still be in the land of the living. Well, happy 43rd birthday to you, Tanika. And I wish you 43 more, all healthy. It's a fabulous time, and it's great to be alive, isn't it? It's great to be alive. COVID or not COVID, it's great to be alive. Mrs. Love being black writes, good morning, fellow beautiful smart choppers. Good morning to you. Yeah, a lot of well-wishers. Kush writes, looking in the mirror like I love you so much. Yeah, every morning. It's the Virgo in me. I love me some Nate. I love me some me. If you don't love yourself, then you got problems. Kush writes, word, I like that ish. Absolutely. Most deaf. Kush writes, I heard OJ on the radio last week. Oh, did you? Okay. I'm only focused on what I'm doing, the lane I'm in, so I didn't know. Really? I'm about to reach out to OJ. He calling his OJ Hancock still? I don't know. Crystal writes, good morning. Celebrating my 45th birthday today. What, Crystal? What? Wait, we got a lot of, is it Scorpio season? We got a lot of Scorpios. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Crystal. Happy 45th birthday. What? I love this season. This is beautiful, man. Damn, this says, no wonder. This explains some of the mood in the chop shop. We got all these Scorpios in here. Damn, it's starting to, we need more Virgos. Well, we got a lot of Virgos, actually. See, that's, Sister Iris writes, good morning, great people. Good to see you. Pastor 69 is in here. That's hilarious. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Scorpios, don't be shy. Yeah, what's up, Scorpios? Vernest Brown writes, good morning. Good morning to you, Vernest. Good to see you. That seems like a new name. Haven't seen that. All are welcome. Mrs. Love being black writes, that curfew is only going to have people, the curfew is only going to have people having overnight parties. It's not stopping nothing. No, it's not. I'm surprised that someone close to the governor didn't tell him, like, I hear you, Mike DeWine with no spine, but what is this supposed to do? This might be a precursor to him shutting it down. Like, one thing I'll say this, if we end up doing a shutdown in Ohio, no one will be able to say that Mike DeWine didn't tell you so. He is giving Ohio the widest lane possible. But what I don't think that he really understands, or maybe he does, is that the percentage of Ohioans that just don't give a you know what. They don't care. These people don't give a damn. You can't reach them. They're not going to stop. If you just missed it, I played an audio clip from a California Karen, and she was all in her feelings. She had a taser in her hand. I'm going to tase you. Like, if you're afraid of a pit bull, I don't know if I would grab. I mean, if all you had was a taser, then that's what all you have, but it don't seem like the most convenient weapon. It seems like a dog might still get you, but I guess if he latches on to you, you can hit him with the taser and then they'll release. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah, here's a picture of her right now. I love to shout out Karens. Oh, man. It's one of my favorite things to do in the media is shouting out Karens and Darrens and let everybody know, see these individuals and talk about them, especially in Cincinnati. If you ever have a Karen or Darren situation, you can text me, you can shoot me a message. I'm all about that life. I'm here for it, 100%, trust me. And we can try to get them fired or at the very least social media shame them. To me, this is an appropriate usage of social media. This is how social media should be used. I love it. I don't want to vote for DeWine or Cranley. Maybe someone else will jump in. That's Pat. Good morning to you, Pat. Hey, Cam's in the house. What's up with you, Cam? I'm good to see you, brother. I'm glad you came in this morning. Good to see you. I don't know what you're writing. I don't understand that language, but I'm sure it's something dope. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you, brother. Like I said, we ain't got to follow all the way out over no damn Ice Cube. Ice Cube, man. Ice Cube ain't paying no bills over here. Damn, no damn Ice Cube. Brenda writes, good morning from Fairfield. Fast pitch, I love her. She writes, good morning, all except the effing Karens and Darrens. Again, make sure you check out the latest Valet Service podcast. We are just getting started. You know, when you start with anything, it grows. You know, you start with talented people that are serious about what they're trying to do, and you build and grow from there. I thought it was a very good conversation last night. Let me take this down real quick so you can actually read it. It's up on our Facebook page. Are Black men politically homeless? Yeah, I know, but plug in, give it a chance. Check out 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes before you say whatever. I think you'll enjoy it. I think that you will enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy her as well. Good morning to you. Back to this. Sean writes, good morning, intelligent people. Absolutely. Salute. Crystal writes, good morning. Don't let me and DeWine find out y'all out here dancing. That's right. We'll be out here dancing at your weddings now. You got to sit down, put your mask on, no dancing. That's right. Foot loose. Hey, Roosevelt's in the house. What's up, brother? He writes, morning all. Good to see you, Roosevelt. Good to see you. Tiff Tish writes, good morning. Hey, Liddy B's in the house. What's up with you, Funk brother? He writes, good, brisk morning. It is brisk outside. I love it. Like I told you, I keep telling my story. Where's my pillbox? It's in the kitchen. Well, I'll share this with you. This is my reality. See this? This is my reality. This is what I do every single day. All of these. Look at this. Look at this ish. This is stupid. This is super dumb. Look, this is what I have to deal with for the rest of my life here. Be better than me. Be better than me. You know what I'm saying? Be better than me. Don't go out like I did. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of my life, I got to deal with a pill regimen. What the hell? Nobody could ever told me I'd be in a situation like that. But you got to take care of your body. Got to eat right. Got to get that exercise in. I tell it to everybody. I was talking to LP, Leonard Pence. I think it's in this video as well. And I shared it with him. I share with anybody and everybody on the air, off camera. I feel like that's my testimony. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that. I keep doing it. I keep doing it. Sorry. I know it's super irritating. Sorry about that, FP. Hold on. I gotta stop. The phone calls are going to a different place. I ain't infallible. What do I look like? Mr. Perfect over here? No. Wasn't that like a WWE character though? Wasn't he called Mr. Perfect? I think so. He was one of my favorites too. He was like a white dude. He was Mr. Perfect. Yeah. He was tight. Yeah. I remember that. But I'm not him. So let me take care of this real quick. And okay, yeah, here we go. Give me 1 second. I don't mind doing this in real time. You know, it is what it is. We are. Hold on. Trying to call in. Your phone call has not been coming to me, unfortunately. But give it a second. There it is. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know it can be irritating. I can imagine that. Trying to get your morning started, getting phone calls from me. I get it. So if you've been trying to call in, you can call back in. I'll put you straight on the air. Put you straight on the air, should I say. But yeah, I tell everybody, man, health is wealth. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. So I want to play this Leonard Pence Jr. interview for you. I said 8:30, so I'm a little bit over that time. And I got to give you a heads up to my people on the audio stream. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, which I don't know if this is a good idea to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I don't want to lose you. And I'm going to circle back around and put the audio in its right place in the stream. But I want to make sure that everybody on the video side of things can actually see it. I think it's an interesting conversation. It's about 20 minutes. We'll play it in a second. For now, let me go straight to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, what's up, guy? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yes. You know what? I agree with the lady. I see where she's coming from. She just addressed it the wrong way. People with small children and small pets don't want to live around pit bulls. You know, of all the dog breeds in the world, why would you get a pit bull and live anywhere? But much less just, you know, that's just not the dog for that. For apparently that area. You know, people who own pit bulls are weird anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think she just handled it the wrong way. I wouldn't want to live around a pit bull owner. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just they the type of people like you playing hoop at the Y and they call offensive fouls. You know what I'm saying? Like, restrict the call. No, you don't do that out here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the kind of dude a pit bull owner is. You know, you just don't want to be around them weirdos. And that lady has a small dog. Okay, she might have been lying about the dog attacked her dog. You know, she just didn't know how to approach it the wrong way because, I mean, technically, yeah, they're legal, but why? There's 300, 600 dog breeds. You got the only one that has a problem. What for? You know, think of all the pit bull owners you know, DMX, weirdo. Do you know anybody that owns a pit bull that you would trust with your kids?
I don't know a lot of dog owners. I don't know a lot of dog owners, period. Maybe a few people here or there. I don't think they have pit bulls, though, no. That's an interesting point.
See? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, so I get what she was trying to say. She just totally approached it the wrong way. You know, and her real personality came out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's all I got, man. I just thought that was a very interesting video that you set up, and it was just like, nah, I get what she's saying. She has, you know, because I saw it. She has a small dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's basically trying to tell them, hey, keep your dog away from mine.
Well, why didn't she just say that?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, all this stuff about you're in a white neighborhood, act white with a taser.
That's what she was trying to say. Like, you know, in this type of neighborhood, pit bulls aren't common. You know, she's trying to give them a reverse social studies lesson. And just didn't know how to do it. You know, because let's be honest, whether we like it or not, currently, under the current setup, there is a modicum of assimilation required. Especially if you're going to live out in that type of neighborhood. Whether we like to admit it or not. I mean, we give, listen, he can say what he wants. You know, we give Glenn a hard time. He lives in the most affluent neighborhood in the area. Why? Because he don't want to live around niggas. Let's keep it a bean out here.
You could just say
Negroes. You know what I'm saying? So
you could just say Negroes. I get it, brother. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. Got another call here. Again, kids watching, man. Give us a heads up at least. Appreciate it. That's an interesting point about pit bull owners. That's hilarious. No, I ain't giving no pass though. Like I can understand anybody being concerned about their dog. I get that part. But the whole you're in a white neighborhood and you're acting black with a taser in your hand, nah. Like I said, I wouldn't even went to the door. I didn't even went to the door. I looked outside, she got a taser in her hand, a little dog, hers, okay, we're going to call the boys on you. They'll talk to you, then they can come translate to me. Simple as that. Same thing she would have did. But what's your take? That's a hilarious take, though. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Nathan Ivey Show? This is B.
Hey, what up, B? What up with you?
How y'all doing?
Doing great.
Not much, man. Well, as a pit bull owner, I don't know what the guy was just talking about people are weird, people who have pit bulls. they're just like human beings. I mean, human beings come in different races, and dogs come in different breeds. It's how you raise them. Are all Germans Nazis? You know what I mean? It's how you raise them. I mean, they have a potential to, they're muscular and they have, muscular jaws. So if you raise them to be vicious, then yeah, they can tear someone up. But at the same time, they have a very, very, very nice temperament. Like, I mean, they're very loyal, very caring. And my dog, actually, he has the opposite problem. He's too damn nice. Everybody he sees, every dog that he sees, he wants to jump all over him and kiss him and all that. And I'm like, how am I going to get this dog to be like calm down? Because I have the opposite problem with him. But he's a puppy, so I'm still training.
So did you want a pit bull in particular? You were looking for that particular breed?
I was.
And is this your first dog or?
No.
Okay.
The first dog I had was a German Shepherd mix.
Okay. Why do you want a pit bull?
This one.
Of all the breeds, I'm just curious, why a pit bull?
I like the way they look.
Okay.
I just like the way they look. I can't have an ugly dog.
Can't have other dog. Okay. Fame said that pit bull owners are weird. Would you look at yourself or classify yourself as being weird?
Weird in a good way.
Like weird in a good way. Okay.
Like different.
Like 2 Chainz, I'm
weird
different.
In a bad way to different people, but I love my weirdness.
Okay. Oh, you might be onto something.
I bash my weirdness.
Okay. Hey, be you, man. Be you. Individuality is a beautiful thing. How's the family, B?
We're doing great.
It's good.
How about you guys?
I cannot complain, man. I'm more blessed than I deserve.
All right, man. Yeah, man. If that lady would have came up to my house, that's exactly what I would have done. Just call up the boys and be like, I'll triple what you said. I'll let them translate for me.
Yeah. I'll let them translate for me. Yeah. Okay. I hear you now. And that's it. You don't even engage with this nonsense because you're not going to win her over.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, like, people like that, people who are like acting out right now, and with this election and all that, all they want is attention. For real, if you just ignore them and they can't do anything, he's gonna be out of there whether he likes it or not. So, and a lot of that is just attention. Now, he's like someone who likes attention, constant attention. So now that, the end of the road is here, ain't no attention being given his way. So,
all right, B.
I love it.
Hey, B, thanks for the call.
All right, man. All right, you guys have a good one.
Most def. That's B. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. We got another call coming in. Again, you can share your thoughts this morning. 513. This is a call-in show. 513-873-7134. I ain't trying to tell you what to say, but there are children listening. My children, well, my son doesn't really because he kind of gets it secondhand, but my daughter will tune in. She'll jump on YouTube and she knows all about the Spreaker app and listen. There are other people. Just be cognizant of that. I ain't trying to tell you what to say. If I have a problem with it, you'll know. And we'll just move on. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome. Who am I speaking with?
Great. This is Brittany.
Hey, Brittany. Good morning.
Yes, I'm so glad I'm finally catching the show. I'm loving your topics, and I just wanted to call and give my insight because I definitely am a dog owner and been a dog owner my whole life.
Okay.
So when it comes to the breed of pit bulls, I know a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who have pit bulls and bullies, and they really actually like the style and the look of the dog. It's not always about dog fighting. You do have those people out there that like those type of things, but certain people just like the breed itself, the way that they're built. They sell them for thousands of dollars and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's just really a preference on it. But I will say any dog owner needs to, if they want to have a dog, that you need to have it trained, period. I don't care if it's a little dog. Little dogs bite, big dogs bite, medium-sized dogs bite. They bite other dogs. They bite kids or people. So you really have to be, once you become a dog owner, you have to be responsible for that dog, and that dog needs to be trained, period. I think, people and their opinions about people who own pit bulls is kind of one-sided. My brother ended up having a pit bull in college, and after he had moved away, he lost the dog, and then they found the dog via chip 3 years later. So my mom went and got this dog from my brother, and it was a pit bull, a nice-sized pit bull. And we allowed this dog around my kids and everything else. We knew the dog did not like other animals, though. So you have to also know your dog. Dogs have personalities just like people. Some like other animals, some don't. And it is how you raise them and how you treat them. But they're very, very sensitive dogs that breed. When they're little, they're very shy and timid, very, very loving animals. And it just sucks that they get such a bad name and such a bad rap because of what they were used for. So I just wanted to call in and kind of give my insight on that. And as far as the lady's concerned, I really think it was more about her preference and what she wants in her neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Because you can't tell somebody, because you live here, you need to act white. You need to act like the rest of us. The days of assimilation is over. We can wear our hair how we want. We can work where we want. We can vote. And we can own and live wherever we want to live. So I really think it was, her anger speaking, and she making it about the dogs, but more so it's about, I don't want you here.
Exactly.
If you can't act a certain way, then you don't need to be here, because this is not how the people that live here act. So, and I don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Hey, yeah. Brittany, thank you for your call.
Yeah, thank you for your time. You have a great day.
You too. That's Brittany.
Stay safe.
Yeah, I think you'll hear her voice more soon, quite honestly. As I said, I'm working with a lot of folks out there on potential podcast. There's so much talent in this city. And check back for more. Hey, listen, it is 9:00. I want to play this Leonard Pitch Jr. interview for you. Hopefully you'll get something out of it. At the very least, hopefully you'll find it an interesting conversation. Leonard Pitch Jr. is He's a Pulitzer Prize winning columnist. And his column used to run here. I'm sorry, I was looking at my text messages. His column used to run here in the city of Cincinnati. I don't believe it does right now. You can catch him at the Miami Herald, and you can find Leonard Pitch Jr. on Twitter as well. And, this interview, I like to check in with other people and get their opinions. He's a man of the media, black man in the media, a black first man in the media. And I just like to hear other people's opinions about the things that are happening in the world around us. Now, we've got another call. I want to take your phone calls, and then I'm going to go to this Leonard Pitch Jr. interview. It's going to run about 20, 25 minutes. If my family on this audio side cannot hear it, I think I've worked it out. But if I did not, please jump over, and I'm not going to abandon that stream this morning. I'm just going to go back, and then in the podcast, make sure I sort of fill in the blanks, if that makes any sense. And you can check it out for yourself. But let's go straight back to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Nate? This is Brian.
Hey, what's up, Brian? Good morning to you.
Morning. Finally get to talk to you about something other than politics. I've been a dog owner for much of my life, either had them or been around them. And I have two pits. One of them is a Cane Corso mix, and one of them is just a terrier. And I just want to chime in that it's how you train your dogs. People have negative stigmas about pit bulls and because of all the reasons people say it. If you go to places like Florida, it's not just pit bulls. You can have, in certain places in Florida, you can have pit bulls, you can have Dobermans, you can't have certain types of German Shepherds. So it's all about people's perception. And in some ways, it's funny because the way that pit bulls are seen is kind of the way black people are seen. We're big, we're strong. We have this potential to do something, and therefore people assume that that's what they are. And they're not. They are a direct reflection of their owners and how they're brought up. I'm not going to talk about what my dogs are and aren't, because my dogs are my early warning system. I don't expect them to attack anybody. I just need 5 seconds to tool up. they're my early warning system. But they are just playful, loving. They got a mean bark. And, if you're at the door, they can be very mean sounding. But they're the nature of pit bulls. When people talk about pit bulls the way that Fame did, it's clear to me that they don't know anything about dogs or breeds or anything. It's just talk. No disrespect to him. It's just misinformation. And ignorance can be fixed with knowledge and common experience. So the only other thing is, that woman in the neighborhood, it had nothing to do with the dog. I mean, maybe her dog felt intimidated or whatever, but this is, your parents, they just complied. They did whatever we said. And you are sitting here defiant. Man, get out of here with that, man. I've lived in many different types of neighborhoods, and I change zero about how I am and what I do. I'm a nice neighbor. Old people next door, I have shoveled the snow out of your thing. I'll help out in any kind of way that I can. But change my culture, change who I am, change what music I listen to, change how I dress. Man, you out of your mind. And it's crazy to me that how assimilationist these conservative types are, to the point where, and again, I know Fame ain't gonna like this. I know I'm gonna get cussed out, but here's the one woman that you decide to cape with, and she's racist as HE double toothpicks with this person, and it's obvious. And it's not just she went about it the wrong way. She should have said something different. She said what she said. That was on her heart. And if you can't recognize that, bruh, or you accept that, bruh, I'm out, man.
Hey.
I'm glad I got to talk about something that wasn't mostly political for a change.
Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. What's up, Brian Taylor right there? Yeah, good brother. And you know what I appreciate him? He's thoughtful in his flows. You know what I'm saying? He don't just throw it out there. You could tell he ain't trying to offend. He just throws his opinion out there. It is what it is. If you get offended, that's on you. I don't ever think that's what he's trying to do. I appreciate all the phone calls. Appreciate Brother Fame, too, for kicking it off. Obviously, people are now responding to his phone call, and I'm glad they're setting the record straight. Nah, that wasn't about the breed of the dog. Or that was about that woman. And Brian said it. If you missed it, I'll play it again for you again I'm going to play this Leonard Pitch Jr. interview for you first, and I'm hoping that you get something out of it. Maybe it makes you think. I might turn you on to LP. Maybe you've never heard of him before. He writes a dope column out of the Miami Herald, and I'm sure it's in some other places around the country as well. But we connected many, many years ago, man. He's been on the show, not recently a lot, but he used to come on quite frequently when his column was in Cincinnati, just because, I'm just a seeker of knowledge. I don't have all the answers. Like I told you, now that we're beyond the election, you're going to hear more and more conversations that don't necessarily deal with politics. It's a reflection of my personality. I'm into multiple things. Hopefully you can get it. I know a lot of people are here because they're drawn to the politics. Cool. We ain't stopping. Equity, policy, intangibles all day long. Ain't nothing changing. And I'm with that. And we'll continue to have those conversations. But I want to add more to the conversation. And it's just, so I've got a bunch of different interviews that are lined up in the world of culture, I'll say, music culture, the culture of technology, interviews coming forward in terms of business, finance, Black wealth building, just some interesting things that are happening around the country. A lot of very interesting books. I've been reaching out to a lot of folks that are doing digital media, really interesting YouTubers, like my man over at Prison Talk, the Prison Talk series. You hear his voice again. So just a lot of interesting folks. So hopefully I might turn you on to what some people are doing out there. Like, oh, Nate, I never heard about this YouTube channel. That'd be dope. That's great. Check them out. Or maybe, a really, really dope book out there that you never heard of before. Just maybe an interesting conversation. So just get ready for that. If you tune in like, why is Nate talking about this? Because Nate wants to. Hopefully you can get into it. All right. So I'm going to step to the side here. This interview is about 20, 25 minutes. I want you to check this out, okay? This is my interview with Leonard Pitch Jr. Check this out. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for checking out the Nathan Ivey Show. I want to introduce my guest. In a career that now spans 43 years, Leonard Pitch Jr. has worked as a columnist, a college professor, and a radio producer and a lecturer. But those are just job titles. If you ask him what he does and what he is, he'll tell you what he would have told you when he was 5 years old, that he is a writer. LP, welcome to the show. Now, I got that straight from your website. Those are your words.
Yeah, and it tells me I need to update my website because actually 44 years now.
Now, 44 years, okay. I figured, as I was coming up with an intro, what's better than your own words to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
It's been a minute, brother. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain, man. I'm great to be here. I know you don't know this, but earlier this year, I had a little bit of run-in with had a heart attack back in February. Yeah, man. So you're looking at a man that's got a new viewpoint on life, man. Every day is precious. Seriously.
Man, wow. God bless you, man. I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, how could you have known that? Obviously, but I share that, man. Just take care of yourself, brother. I tell that anybody, everyone I know, it's real. It's real. Very real.
Well, see, now I punked out on my morning walk this morning. Now you're making me feel real bad about it.
Well, no, hopefully not bad. Just motivated. Get it in later, man. Get it in later.
Yeah.
But listen, lots to talk about. Let me go back to something that you wrote before the election. You wrote before the election that, and is this true? I'll take you for your word, that you had never endorsed a candidate before.
No.
But you felt compelled to do it in this election that we just had.
Right.
Why?
Well, I never felt it was my job to endorse a candidate, even though anybody who reads me knows pretty much where my sympathies lie. But this is a 4-alarm fire. This is an emergency. It was an emergency before the election. Frankly, it's an emergency after the election. So I needed to, let there be no doubt. I needed to stand up and say, this is the guy, because this other guy, meaning obviously Trump, is a disaster in the making for our country, and we can't endure any more of this as a nation. I think we're teetering on the edge of something of a place where none of us really want to go. So yeah, that's why I stood up and said, it's nothing against Joe Biden, but at this point, it's I'd vote for you. I'd vote for, I'd vote for Adam Driver. I'd vote for you name the person. There's like 6 people I think in life that I would not vote for over Donald Trump. Richard Nixon, come on, Trick Dick.
You would vote for a Sith Lord over Donald Trump.
Now you're feeling me.
That's real. But I've been having conversations. I'm sure you're part of the conversation as well as a columnist within the Black community, within our community. And what I've gotten back has been a mixed bag. Like for certain, there were people prior to the election that were going to vote for Joe Biden, vote for the Democrat ticket. They felt like on a lot of levels it was better than what Trump Pence was going to offer and had offered. But there was also, I would think, a fairly, sizable part of the folks I talked to who was on the fence. Like, we ain't feeling Joe because of the crime bill. And for them, the question kept coming up that how much different was your world over the last 4 years under Trump as opposed to, Obama before him? Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, a little bit. The argument about the crime bill really annoys me because if you're gonna tell the truth, tell the whole truth. All of us, a lot of Black folks were for the crime bill back in the 90s. Our communities were being decimated, by this, and everybody, we were, and African American lawmakers were very strong for the crime bill. Now, I don't remember any African Americans going on about super predators and wilding and all the rest of this, crazy sort of, stuff that was being said. But the crime bill was not particularly controversial back then. It became controversial as we see the era of mass incarceration that it helped to foster. Then it becomes a thing of where, this is a terrible thing. That's the first thing. The second thing is Joe Biden has said, I was wrong. I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize for that. I don't know what else. So I don't know how to, if you're gonna lay, blame on him, you got to lay it on a whole lot of us, Black, white, and otherwise. And that's not to apologize for Joe Biden. It's just to say the truth. So if that's your rationale for voting for against Joe Biden and for a man who was literally sued, was it 2 times, 3 times by the federal government for housing discrimination, called Black people lazy, the Central Park 5 and on and on and on. If that's your rationale, you need to check your logic.
There's a lot of people that's going to be checking the Trump administration, checking the Biden administration moving forward.
Yeah.
Do you think, so what do we do now? So I think I heard a lot of people saying that we need to have a Black agenda. Well, Biden Harris have a Black agenda.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that the black electorate needs to do now that we've got Biden Harris elect to make sure that our agenda and our issues are at the forefront in this administration? And what do you think that the administration needs to do for the black electorate that clearly came out for them?
I think that there needs to be some, when people talk about defund the police, that's a case of the language that you use getting in the way of the message that you're trying to deliver. That the language is so sharp and so strident that it sort of delegitimizes a very important and very credible and very important message that the police departments need to be. Let's say reimagine the police. Let's say transform the police, change the police department. I think that needs to be job one. No, actually, that needs to be job 1A. Job one needs to be to secure the vote, because people in this country are trying to take African Americans back to an era pre the 1965 Voting Rights Act, and they've become increasingly open about it. I think Georgia, is probably the most egregious case with Stacey Abrams a couple of years ago, but they're getting very bold about that. And I think the Democratic Party, both because it's right and frankly as a matter of self-preservation and self-interest, needs to be about fixing voting and making sure that voting is open to us all. I think as African American voters, the thing that we need to do is demand that the Democratic Party treat us like we are the base. Because we are, and that's the thing that really frustrates me. The Republicans, like them or loathe them, they are never caught short in pandering to white evangelical Christians, which is their base, and pandering to the resentments and pandering to the fears and the hatreds and the anxieties and all that of that group. The Democrats too often remind me of a guy who's dating a girl that they're good together, but she's maybe not the best looking girl in the world or whatever. So when he's out in public, he don't want his boys to know, this is my girl. Don't talk to me. And the Democrats treat black folks like that girl.
Right.
Like, yeah, we together, but don't walk so close. And I think that the Democrats need to be made to make up their minds. Either if you want us. I'm stretching this metaphor. If you want us behind closed doors, as in the ballot box, then you need to be with us in the open when it comes to standing up for our issues. Am I making sense?
I'm making perfect sense, man.
Because I'm stretching the analogy, but the Democrats need to stop faking on that. If we are your base, African Americans and other people of color and a minority of enlightened white folks, that's your base. And so you need to start, servicing and serving your base with the same enthusiasm that the Republicans do theirs.
Yeah, I've made the point of the last few years that look at Trump. Say what you will, but he delivers for his base, even when it doesn't make sense. Yes. Even when it flies in the face of norms, traditions, or conventional wisdom, he rides with them. And that's one reason why they roll with him. Were you surprised to see that 70 million Americans voted for Trump Pence?
Surprised and disappointed. I figured there would be more. That part didn't surprise me, but I didn't think there would be 7 million more than in 2016. That really kind of took me by surprise, and I was I'm disappointed. I mean, just think about this. Guy comes to office, 250,000 people now, just about dead from the pandemic, the worst economy since the Great Depression. You got unrest in the streets, and we're turned on our allies, and we're coddling our enemies, and our prestige down around the world has gone down. Just so many markers of failure on this presidency, and 7 million more people say, no, that's my guy. I mean, that blows my mind. It's like if you took a car off the lot, and you get a block down the street and the engine blows up, and you say, I want to go back and buy another one of those. That makes no sense to me. That makes no logical sense. But that's the mindset, and it comes back to again this thing of race, because he can fail as many different ways as he can think of, as long as he is a vessel of those white resentments. Then he's gonna get the vote from those folks. The thing folks have to remember. People always want to say it's not about race, it's about policy. If it was about race, there were 16, 17 other people, whatever it was, who ran against Trump in the initial Republican primary. So if you just wanted lower taxes or smaller government or less regulation, all those Republican watchwords, you had your choice. You had Marco Rubio. You had, I think, Mitt ran that year, if I'm not mistaken. You had a bunch of folks. You had Jeb Bush. You had a bunch of folks. You went for the guy, you know, who was the epitome of crazy on matters of race. You went for that. That's not an accident. That's nobody will ever be able to convince me that that's just accidental or incidental.
Is it worth delving deeper into trying to figure out what that connection is? Like, I agree with you. I think race plays a lot of it. I think white fragility, white fear of the black planet. I think Kamala Harris at the top of the tippet drove people out to support Trump. But I also think that Republican strategists, and I was talking about this and been talking about on my show. Of course, I'm based in Cincinnati, which is Hamilton County here in Ohio, which is no longer a battleground state. For 2 election cycles in a row, we've gone by at least 8 points to the Republican candidate. So we are a red state. I know my Democrat friends don't like to hear that, but it's true. But I mean, you know, I also think that Republican strategists were very, very smart in using, and you spoke to it earlier, the whole defund the police and the social unrest to their advantage in this last election.
Yeah, I think that, you know, when whoever said defund the police just basically gave them a gift. And they used that to sort of wrap that around Joe Biden's neck when Joe Biden was taking every opportunity he could to say, no, I don't agree with that. And again, it's the wording. No reasonable, fair observer, if you listen to him say, we got a problem with policing, we need to reimagine the way that we do policing in this country. Here are the things we want to do. No reasonable person, no persuadable person is going to say, oh, no. But you say, oh, take all the money, close the police departments. Well, you know, what do you expect? It's like the branding on the left, branding, and it's funny because the left is stereotypically the land of Hollywood and Madison Avenue or whatever, but the branding on the left is consistently awful. The brand, you know, it's like they can't come up with the words to say, to express themselves and to catch people's emotions and to make people, you know, come out for them. They always, whatever the worst possible, you know, phrasing is, the Democrats and the left are gonna find it. even for good things. They just don't have that. The Republicans, you know, love them or hate them, they're geniuses at branding what it is they want. Death tax. You know, oh Lord, I don't want the death tax. I don't want to, you know.
Right.
You know, they're geniuses at that. You know, and the left just can't get their act together on that. Defund the police. Really? Seriously? You think?
Now you're right. You know, you're right on 2 levels. So one, you're right in terms of that branding. You know, that the defund the police plays so well into Republicans who are running the cycle that I've wondered aloud who really started it. Like, was that a left thing or was that plants? Right.
I do believe it was a left thing. I do believe it was a left.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget who coined that, but I believe it was a woman authentically on the left. The whole the unrest in the cities, though, the violence. There's documented evidence that some large portion of that was right-wing agitators coming in, burning up stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
speaking of which, that seems so long ago to me. You know, all the social unrest, change. It seems so long ago. I'm wondering, did we lose or miss out on an opportunity there?
You mean,
you know, in terms of meaningful police reform, meaningful engagement that could lead to real change on local, regional, and national levels?
I don't know that that's over yet. I really don't. I know that the streets are quiet now, and God bless them. But you know, you say miss out on opportunity. Where was the opportunity? As long as Trump was president and McConnell, you know, was in charge of the Senate, I don't know that there was an opportunity to be missed. I think at the very least, at a bare minimum, if nothing else happens in, you know, the next 6 months, a lot of decent white folks were awakened. And that's the one thing, you know, that we tend to forget the power of. It does my heart good every time I see, you know, white folks out there chanting Black Lives Matter. It's like, oh, y'all see, you know, thank you. God bless you. Y'all see. And I know some black folks say, well, people shouldn't be praised for taking the moral stance they should have taken all along. I'm for, you know, yes, I thank you. I'm for praising them up, down, and sideways, because it's very easy for them to go the other way. It's very easy for them to do the other thing. So when they're actually coming out and doing the right thing, and knowing that it's going to cost them at the Thanksgiving table, you know, with Mama and Daddy and Uncle Bubba, You know, it's going to estrange them from that. No, I'm forgiving them all the encouragement that I can, because I think it's valuable for us. I think you always want more people on your side than there are on the other side. We are the majority. That's the other thing that we, on the left tend to forget. We are the majority in almost every presidential election. On all the litmus test issues, the Gallup polls always consistently show us in the majority. We are the majority in this country. And yet, for some reason, we never seem to be able to get our act together and to throw our weight around a little bit like the majority. I've never been able to figure out why that is.
That's interesting, Leonard, when you say that, because, as you were talking about our white allies, and they are out there, I spend time on my show all the time saying that when it comes to the pursuit of equity, policy, and tangibles for our community, for Black folks, I don't care what you look like and where you came from. And I think Black people tend to forget the contributions that non-Black people have had, in those goals, over the years, civil rights, even before that. But, I'm reminded of a book and a conversation I had with the author of that book many, many years ago. It was a book titled Why White Kids Love Hip Hop, written by a brother. And basically he was making, this is like 10, 15 years ago, he was making an argument that hip hop as a culture would coalesce white and Black folks of a certain generation. And then they will become our allies through the music and through the culture, and then would move toward, he didn't use this term, but would move toward our liberation and our pursuit of equity, policy, and tangibles. I'm not really sure if that's happened. Similarly, you're right. White folks have been out there in the streets with us. They're allies. But how do we get them, and is it fair to put it this way? You tell me your opinion. But how do we get them to move beyond chanting into actual wealth building, equity building, tangible building for our communities? Or do you feel like that's already underway?
I think you come up with a political agenda, which is the one thing that we have not really articulated probably since the 1960s. The thing that people forget is when Dr. King and these guys were leading movements in the 1960s, they were chanting. They weren't just chanting to be chanting. They were chanting for, I want a Civil Rights Act. I want a Voting Rights Act. Okay. They were chanting for legislative remedies. Dr. King said the law can't make a man love me, but it can force him to stop hitting me upside the head. Something along, I'm misquoting him vaguely, but something along those lines. And I think that's very important, he said. And the same thing applies. Okay, you can't legislate that you love me, but you can legislate that my vote matters, my vote counts. You can legislate and find ways that the police don't get to treat me any old kind of way or administer curbside justice just because of the color of my skin. Those things can be done. I have not seen, no one has articulated yet, these are the bills we want. This is what's, nobody's even written the bill as far as I know. Write the bill. Where's the bill that says the police departments must do this, this, and this on a national level? Where's the, defund, what do you call it? Defund the police or transform the police or reimagine the police? Whatever you call it, where's the bill that does that? Where's the bill that says police have to do this, this, and this? So, I think that until there's a concrete agenda, then all we can do is chant. And people, corporations and enlightened political leaders on the local level will take that and try to transform that as best they can, or try to translate that into policy as best they can. But there needs to be policy, there needs to be policy prescriptions coming from those of us who are demanding just this concrete thing. What do you want as a Black man? When you ask me, what do you want? Too often we will be forced to answer in general terms, truthful, but general. I want justice. I want freedom. I want, I don't want my kids to, I want not to have to be beaten by the police. I want this, this, and this. Those are lovely goals, but how do you concretize those? How do you, make those, concrete and real? What's your legislative prescription?
Are you hip to what P. Diddy? I'm sure you're hip to Ice Cube. Pardon me, and his agenda. I'll just ask you real quick, just because I think that, for me, I think Ice Cube has a history that needs to be fully put out there in terms of some of the associations and the Trumpsters and things like that. But I applaud anybody that's out there trying to create agendas and policies. Like I said, equity, policy, and tangibles. I thought he played his hand at the wrong time. And I like, now that we have Biden Harris elect, I love to see him working, with them and seeing if they can integrate what they already have with their Lift Every Voice Black agenda with his agenda as well. But also Puffy with the Our Black Party. You know, he says, listen, it's time for that. What's your take on these celebrity-led movements?
I think that
keep it real with me.
Yeah, I know. I think that by and large, it's too easy for celebrity-led movements to become a vanity project. I believe that if you don't know what you're talking about, and I mean on a granular policy level, you know, if you don't know how to play this game, then maybe it's best that you stand back or find other ways to step in and help. I think that Ice Cube got played pretty badly, got used by the Trump administration, so that, you know, he's out there essentially shilling for them, talking about this $500 billion commitment that he has, that he doesn't actually, you know, that doesn't actually exist. You know, and plus, frankly, at this late date, I don't care what your rationale is. Any African American who's lending aid and comfort to these fools, to this regime, I'm sorry, I got serious issues with you. I got serious issues with you. You know, what are you thinking? What do you think? Don't come to me and tell me you're doing this, and this for the community through that fool, because we know his track record. We know who he is. We know what he's done. We know what he said. And it's not like a crime bill from 25 years ago. It was yesterday. You know, it was 25 years ago. So, you know, don't bring me that. So, you know, I have real issues with any brother. I have issues with anybody, and particularly with any brother or sister who's on the Trump train, especially at this late date.
Before I want to make this up, because you've used that term many times.
What's that?
I'm in Hamilton County, right? Cincinnati. So, and again, I have no expectation you would know this, but there was a grassroots-led movement that was springing up very similar to the defund the police, but it wasn't called defund the police. Get this, LP. It was called People Safety Reimagined. And they were pushing to transform the way that we fund the police here in Hamilton County, and Cincinnati is in Hamilton County. And I don't know the details, so I can't tell you it was about support, but they didn't get enough signatures to even get on the ballot. And then here in Cincinnati, Hamilton County, all of the Republicans, or at least most of them that were running for office, kept bringing it up. They kept, just like they do the defund the police, they kept bringing it up and then beating their Democrat opponents over the head with it as if, hey, you know, make a statement on this. So it just goes back to the point you were making about branding, and then the smartness of some of these Republican strategists trying to use it against the Republican opponents. I'm sorry, Democrat opponents. And like I said, they didn't even get enough signatures to get on the ballot. So I'm not sure if that's an indication of support for it, or I don't know, whatever. I'm not sure what happened with that, but I wanted to make that point before you went on. You keep using that term. I mean, it's actually rooted in some facts here. But
go on.
Well, the question where I was going to take the conversation now was in terms of you as a media person. So now, 4 years of Trump, and Trump was not a big fan of the media. We know why. He said it to some, that he said to Leslie Stahl, she brought it up in the 60 Minutes. He criticized the media before the media told the truth about him to try to discredit the media. But what we did notice on election night is that traditionally, these media outlets would have called the election a lot sooner. And I feel like the reason why they didn't is because Trump spent 4 years questioning their credibility. So I ask you as a writer, longtime media member or member of the media, you know, did Trump impact you as a writer, as a media person? And how will that and how will that manifest itself moving forward now that we're going to Biden-Harris?
Trump exhausted me as a media person and frankly, just as a person. That's one of the things that I mentioned in the column that you referenced about endorsing Joe Biden. One of the reasons that I did that was because Trump has just left me exhausted. You reach a point where, you know, how many different ways can you say this boy is a fool? You know, I got, you know, and I got a pretty decent vocabulary, but at some point you go to the SARS, and the SARS say, I got nothing for you, man. You know, there's nothing else that I can say that hasn't been said before. So, you know, you spend 4 years doing this. And so there's this sense of exhaustion. And there's also this sense of, you know, the goalposts of outrage being moved so that Trump has done stuff that would have defined anybody else's presidency. Stuff that would have, if they'd done it, if Obama had done it, if Bush had done it, if Clinton had done it, you'd have been talking about it for the next year. That would have been the whole story for the year. Trump does that twice a day. Trump does it twice a day. So at some point, as a media person and just as a person trying to keep up with the news, you get exhausted because you can't keep up. If Obama had said during the Ebola crisis, you know, try bleach, bleach is going to do it, we'd be talking about that now. You know, we'd still, would you hear what that fool said? Oh, with Trump, it's gone. When did that happen? In the spring, early summer? That's like 100 years ago in Trump years. So what Trump has done to me more as a media person has exhausted me. And I look forward to trying to finding stuff to write about. And I've tried to do it even though he's still in office, try to find stuff to write about where I don't have to mention his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, keep it real. I appreciate that. So is this true? Did you write, I have no interest in seeing this country heal and I refuse to come together? Did you write that?
I wrote that 4 years ago and I repeated it probably 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
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 So you're not one of these people that wants to reconcile with Trump supporters?
I would love to see reconciliation. And you got to understand, it's a measure of how bizarre this country has come that maybe you don't know me that well, but I'm like, you know, I'm Mr. Reconciliation. I'm Mr. Kumbaya. Let's all come together and hug it out and work it out. So for me to be saying that says something. And the reason that I say that is, look, you know, if it was a policy disagreement, you know, and your side won or my side won, okay, it is what it is. You know, that's politics. Big boys and big girls, you pull up your big boy pants and you move on. That's just the way it works. These are not policy disagreements. This is more fundamental. This is racism. I don't know how to come together with racism. This is misogyny. I don't know how to come together with misogyny. I don't know how to come together with you're a nasty woman, you know, and you ask stupid questions. I don't know how to come together with that. I don't know how to come together with demonizing the news media. The news media, the press, the newspapers are the only profession mentioned by name in the Constitution. That's how important what we do is, okay? I don't know how to come together with somebody demonizing that or with people who support that. I literally don't know. How do you hug it out with the Proud Boys? You know, how do you hug it out with the clowns with the tiki torches in Charlottesville? How do you do that? How do you come together with that? You know, so if somebody's able to show me how that works, then I'll be able to reconsider it. But as a fundamental matter, I don't know how to come together with those folks. I don't know how to heal with the Ku Klux Klan, and I'm pretty sure they don't have a whole lot of interest in healing with me. So it's not like it's a one-time thing. And people will say, Trump people will say, as they often say, well, you know, I'm not a racist, I'm not a Proud Boy, I'm not a Klansman. Yeah, but you voted for somebody who supports it. And I don't know the functional difference. You know, it's like if I'm a Jew in the 1930s in Germany, and you're telling me, oh no, I'm not anti-Semitic. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters, but Hitler has a great program for rebuilding the roads. So I'm supporting Hitler. What's the functional difference to me as a Jew? There ain't none. Because either way, you're supporting this guy who in a few years is going to take me and my family and send us to the gas chambers. Either way, you're supporting that. So if you're supporting I say this all the time and it gets me in trouble all the time, but nobody's ever been able to tell me it's not the truth. If you voted for Trump, you are either a racist or you are okay with supporting a racist. And I don't see the difference.
Mm-hmm. Last question. You mentioned the Proud Boys. And of course, over the weekend, the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, whoever else were out in the streets in the support of Donald Trump. I guess some of them may actually believe that he didn't win the election. And I think others are trying to use that mantra for their own advantage. But my question is about the country. What do you think the impact will manifest itself to be after 4 years of Trump? Has Trump changed us in any way, or has he just amplified what was already there?
It's not even so much that he amplified it, it's that he gave it permission. He made it respectable. Before Trump, if you were a racist, if you were, you know, anti whatever, you had the decency to lie about it. You know, you could lie about it. But Trump has made it possible for you not only not to have to lie about it, but to be proud about it. The Proud Boys, you know, he's made it possible for you to not have to lie about it. And that is, you know, that's a genie that we're going to have a hard time putting back in the bottle. racists and misogynists need to be ashamed to be racist and misogynist. And at this point, they are not. They are not. You've seen too many videos of too many of these people just losing their damn minds behind their racist and misogynistic theories. And it's gonna be a while. I don't know if Biden's decency, I hope it's enough. I don't know if it's going to be enough. That's going to be the big question of next year, beyond whatever he can accomplish legislatively. Is his decency just as a human being going to be enough to turn America back to the better angels of its nature? That's the challenge we're dealing with right now.
Well, Leonard Pitts Jr., thank you for your time. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm just talking. I did it again. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you. Not sure that was. It was telling me I was muted. But what'd you think about LP? I thought it was an interesting conversation. Glean what you can from it. I thought that, hey, good morning. Welcome to the show. Okay, thank you. Thank you. A lot of good well wishers. I think my volume is up right now. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah. We're good. Sorry. So I didn't want to make sure. Of course, I had my microphone turned off for a second. I just did it again. So sorry about that. I'm not infallible. But hopefully you're hearing me. Let me see. Yeah. I think you're yeah, you can hear me. Good. So we're good. But just to go back, so I was talking about LP a little bit in that interview. I thought it was interesting. I put it up on Facebook so people can check it out for themselves who may not be here with us this morning. I think it has some legs to it for about maybe a couple days or whatever. And, if I can't do the interview live, because some people are just not available when we're on in the morning, then I'll pre-record it and play it for you. And then I'll make it into its own podcast so my audio people can check it out as well. And you could check it out on multiple platforms, NathanIvey.com. Good morning to you. But as I was saying, I thought that there was interesting things that came out of it. But let's move on. So let me circle back around. If you live in the state of Ohio, there's a couple things that you should know about that should be on your radar screen. In particular, number one is the curfew that goes in place on Thursday. We talked about what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and who it's going to affect. Also, I'm reading this morning that there's more Jeff Pastor news. Jeff Pastor ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Apparently, citizens are now suing to remove Jeff Pastor after his bribery arrest. 5 city of Cincinnati residents aren't waiting to see if he resigns, they have filed, and these are Republicans. It looks like maybe these are Republicans that are saying, hey, he's got to go. I know that the state is doing its things as well. So despite what I was told in terms of Jeff Pastor and his wishes to not resign, I think that's probably what's going to happen. It looks that way. He's up out of here. Also, Ohio gun policy overhaul. Have you heard about this? There's some legislators that want to expand the concealed and carry laws and also the laws governing stand your ground here. Is being reported as a major overhaul to Ohio's gun laws. And it would allow concealed guns in more places. It would allow 18-year-olds to buy firearms and people to, quote unquote, stand their ground when firing in self-defense. House Bill 248. I actually put in a request of some folks, a rep from the Ohio Coalition Against Gun Violence. So I'm going to wait. That may happen either tomorrow or Friday. I'm going to wait before I get too deep into it because I love to bring some experts to the conversation as well. But I want to put that, on your radar screen. Currently, it is prohibited under current law for you to have a concealed and carry weapon in a police station, a sheriff's office, state highway patrol station, a prison or jail. Under the proposal, that would change. You would be allowed and permitted to carry a concealed weapon in all those places. What are some other places? Airport terminal beyond the passenger checkpoint, Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, and Department of Developmental Disabilities. That would all change under this new proposal. Currently, you cannot have a concealed weapon at a courthouse. That would change as well. It will allow you to carry a concealed weapon as long as court is not in session. Let me see. University and college property. Currently, you cannot carry a concealed weapon. You can do it openly, but not concealed. If under this proposal of the law, it would allow you to do that there. At a church, synagogue, mosque, or other place of worship, currently you can openly carry, as I understand it, but you can't conceal it. Under this proposal, it would allow concealed carry. Let me see else. Any place where federal law prohibits, there still be no change. State property in buildings, currently you are not allowed to conceal. I think you can do it openly, but you can't conceal it. Under this proposal, it will allow you to conceal and carry. I mean, for my grown folks out there, and I know, we Second Amendment folks here, 100%. I'm with concealed and carry. I'm with open carry. You have the right, if you meet the legal qualifications, to carry a weapon. I 100% stand by that and support that. But what do you think about these changes here to expand where you can conceal a weapon? Is that safe in a police station? Courthouse? Airport terminal beyond the baggage check, the passenger checkpoint? Is that safe? The courthouse? I said that. University or college property? I had an interview a few years back, since I've been digital, with a white male, and he made a lot of noise because he was openly carrying at the University of Cincinnati. Remember this dude? If you go to NathanIvey.com and scroll back far enough, you'll probably come to that interview. And it's just that interview. It's not the entire show. And this man had like 3 weapons. He was up there like Rambo. He had a weapon over his back, a weapon strapped across his chest, and a weapon in a holster on his hip. And that's legal. That's all legal. He was making a point that it's legal for you to do these kind of things. Yeah, it's real out here. It's real. For real. Good morning to you. John writes, LP was on point. Nat writes, I read the brother's articles. Great interview, Nate. We'll expect more from that. More. And again, not just about politics. I want to get back to my roots. My roots, as I told you before, are people, politics, and pleasure. Everybody's saying they can't hear me. My apologies. That was all on me. Thank you for the folks that reach out and send messages. That means you give a damn. I appreciate it. It means you care. Okay. I just got a message from that interview here. Okay. Okay, he wants to get information. So it looks like that might probably happen tomorrow. So I'll wait to talk more about that whole thing and get some so-called experts on here, some people that's working in that spirit, in that lane, to get their perspective. I'm a little bit torn on this. I mean, I'm 100% with the Second Amendment, but I don't necessarily trust humans. And some of these Ohioans, man, can't be trusted with these privileges. They might take it too far and do something dumb, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, okay. Okay, I see this. Thank you. I see this. This is interesting. More on Jeff Pastor. I don't know. We'll get back into it again. My thoughts on Jeff Pastor is twofold. One, I don't internalize what Jeff Pastor did. I didn't internalize what Tamai Denard did. That's on them. I can understand why black people feel as if one prominent black person does something, then somehow we're all impacted. But on a personal level, no. And then secondly, I'm looking for Christopher Smitherman to put a black person in that position. If it comes to that, and it looks like it is, Christopher Smitherman is in a position to make that decision. What's the brother going to do? What's he going to do? Right now, as I see it, there are, 4 African-American members, 4 black members of city council, which would mean, if I'm just doing the math in my head, what is that, roughly 45% of council is black? Okay, that makes sense, because to me, that's a reflection of the city of Cincinnati, which is somewhere between 42% and 45% black as well. That makes sense. I think that black leadership representation matters. I think it matters. And I did read that Jason Williams article in which he was talking about how the Republican Party might have a heavy hand in deciding. They might even make the decision. They might tell Chris, like, look, Chris, here's who we want you to nominate. Why would Christopher Smith go along with this? Well, he might go along because he might run as a Republican in the near future in 2022. Or he might have some other political aspirations. I mean, don't think for one second that Christopher Smitherman spent all this time cozying up to the Republican Party, despite him being an independent or not, for that not to be something that he's not doing it for a reason. Chris Smitherman is a very smart, intelligent man. He's a very smart, intelligent black man. And people have questioned his blackness. I mean, we've done it here on the show. I mean, do you? It is what it is. But, he's going to have a decision to make. And what my preference would be as a citizen is I want to see a black male or female take Jeff Pastor's or be appointed to Jeff Pastor's position. Now, isn't that what they did with Amy Murray? Look at what they did with Amy Murray. I mean, the Republican Party, they had black folks they could have put in that position. But they said, look, it was a white female. We're going to put another white female there. So why wouldn't Christopher Smitherman do the same thing with Jeff Pastor? Now, before you say, oh, he's an independent. Yeah, he's an independent, kind of, but he might run as a Republican as Hamilton County Commissioner. And it might work. It might work. He spent a lot of time laying that groundwork, going on 700 WOW and WKRC, kissing on Willie Cunningham's backside and cozying up with all the Republicans. I mean, it would make sense if he did it for him. I would see that. I can see that. But that would take us backwards in terms of diversity on city council. It would be a backward step. Now, I'm consistent. I said the same thing when it came to the Democrats and P.G. Sittenfeld. When Tamai Denard stepped down, I said the same thing. That should go to a black person. It should go to a black female or male. Why? Keep the representation going. We need that kind of minority representation, that black leadership representation. It matters on council. Why would we take a step back? And P.G. Sittenfeld made the decision. And I think most people agree with it. It was Jan Michelle Kearney. I think most people looking at it like, okay, good answer. Okay. So what is Christopher Smitherman going to do? What is he going to do? I mean, to me, it's quite obvious. And you can't say there aren't any qualified black men and women that are Republicans, because I remember there was a Cincinnati Enquirer article and there was a whole bunch of folks in there. I'm looking for a black male or female millennial. I'm just some black female millennial Republicans, just like Jeff. I think that's a valuable viewpoint. But in terms of, racial representation, we need that on city council. Don't you agree? Tell me if you disagree. 513-873-7134. What is he going to do? Mr. Smithman, your blackness is calling. Who is it? Answer the phone. Answer the door. What is he going to do? It might be a chance for him to silence his critics that have been criticizing him because he turned his back, at least in their perception, on the black community. I hear it all the time. I've said it. Okay. So here's the opportunity. I think people should keep their eyes on that decision. So there's two things going on with that. What is Jeff going to do? Is he going to step down? This could be the end of what it could have been a promising career. I thought that Jeff Pastor had the potential to be Congress. I thought he had the potential to be Congress. Like, I know y'all think that's funny, but I'm being serious with you because as a black person in the Republican Party, you're a unicorn. And if you can talk that talk and walk that walk, man, that can carry you real far. Look at the brother down there, the AG in Kentucky. Trump threw his name out there. It's not going to happen now, but Trump threw his name out there like possible Supreme Court. If Trump had won a second term, you never know what could have happened. We'll have to wait and see. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Nate, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's up, Glenn?
Hey, man, that was a great interview with Leonard Pitts.
Cool. Thank you.
I mean, really. It really was. You guys have had Johnny B with Yvette Simpson and you with Leonard Pitts. People, you got to listen to this stuff. I mean, those were great interviews, both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, with Leonard Pitts, Nate, hell, he sounded like me. I mean, and I don't want to, well, we weren't arguing, but a couple of weeks ago, Nate, you were like, we need to talk to these people. We need to figure out, what is it about them that Democrats need to, find out the inner workings of a Republican. Yeah. I'm like Leonard Pitts, Nate. I was kind of that guy. I'm Mr., let's get together. Let's see if we can, get it together and come as one. But Nate, I've seen a side of the Republican Party, man, that, like I told you, down the Dow, Nate, racism is a jingle now. It's like if you're happy and if you're racist and it, clap your hands. I mean, they don't care anymore. And I don't blame this specifically. I've told you this for a long time. I don't blame it specifically on Donald Trump because this started with Barack Obama. I mean, this started with the nominations of someone like Sarah Palin. She was the reason why the dumb vote came out. She was the reason. She was the mother of the Tea Party, Nate. That intellectual or non-intellectual side of the Republican Party. Sarah Palin brought that in. Steve Smith, he's on MSNBC all the time. He ran the McCain campaign. He said when he saw Sarah Palin, he was like, he knew she was unfit, but they knew why they brought her in. That was their concession to the right, Sarah Palin as a nomination. I've said it before, Nate. Donald Trump is nothing more than the male version of Sarah Palin with even worse big hair. I mean, just as stupid, just as non-intellectually curious, and that we expected more. I mean, Nate, did you see what happened in Michigan last night?
What happened?
The two county commissioners, there are 4 commissioners that certified the votes. So the 2 Republicans decided that they weren't going to certify the vote. Yeah, and it happened to be, it's Wayne County, Nate, the largest black county in Michigan. Mm-hmm. It encompasses the city of Detroit. Mm-hmm. So then they called all type of hell, Nate, and 2 hours later they switched it up like, no, we're going to certify it. They said what they were trying to do was unprecedented. And they pulled out the, voting machines might have been changed, voting irregularities. And then here's the tripped out part. And of course, the information was going to come out. They were talking about how there were like irregularities or just part of, like human error, or where the signature doesn't exactly look like the signature that you had freaking 4 years ago, or some kind of whack stuff, just anything to try to put it out there. Well, then they were saying, well, this year, those quote unquote irregularities were at 42% and they wouldn't certify them. Guess what it was in 2016, Nate, when Donald Trump won?
What?
It was 80%. It was double of what it is now. And those 2 Republican administrators, they certified the vote. So it was double back in 2016 what it is now, but they certified it. But they wouldn't do it in 2020, coming out of that majority black district. And see, Nate, this is where, I am, man. I'm the black conservative hunter for sure. Just like a little move. But I can never understand how you can, the Republican Party, given this current incarnation of the Republican Party. That's what I'll never understand. And I've told you this before many, many times, and especially here in this city, conservative Cincinnati. If you're a black Republican, there will come a time where you're going to have to vote for something that's diametrically opposed to your skin color. You feel me, eh? Not your culture, to your skin color. You're going to have to make that vote. Get on out there, Tim Scott. You feel me, Nate? Get on out there, Law and Public Safety Committee, and start talking about what's happening in Chicago and Baltimore, playing right along with the people down the dial. Vote for this Sunderman, I support the police like there's a big crowd out there saying F the police and, everybody else. You're going to have to do that, Nate. It's just like the movie Get Out. You ask them the hard questions, they know start bleeding. So, hey, I don't want to go up like you did last Friday. Matter of fact, Nate, I appreciate your patience with me, man. It's funny because I do that with my clients sometimes. They tell me all types of stories, and I appreciate it. But, I had like a little John in me, I guess.
Oh, it's all good, man.
But,
I forgot that you was going on and on Friday. That's right.
Yeah. Actually, Fame had a little funny when he said something about when Glenn brought up something like an hour ago. I was like, that's actually pretty funny there, right?
Fame is hilarious.
Hey, I grew up a Catholic, so I got to give him what credit's due. But no, they just what they tried to do in Michigan last night. You got Lindsey Graham, a senator from South Carolina, calling people in Arizona and Georgia and Michigan. Well, actually, he didn't call it the Secretary of State in Arizona and Michigan because they were like, we didn't hear from this poll. Because you saw what happened in Georgia, right? Are you
what did I miss?
Nate?
What did I miss?
The Republicans, his name is Rastenberger or something like that. He snitched on Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
You didn't know about that?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah,
of it.
he called down there like, can you check, overcheck, triple check?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no. He know them whatever the guy's name is. He knows some black folks down there ain't gonna have that Lindsey. And Nate, have you ever heard of a senator from another state call another senator or Secretary of State and ask them, what are you doing with your voting process? And then he tried to play it off as saying, well, I called Michigan and Arizona, and the ladies there are like, no, I've never talked to him. I don't know what he's talking about. That's what they're trying to do to y'all vote, folks. Another thing why I can't be a Republican, can't stand a conservative movement. And that goes back a long time, folks. The Republican Party, basically, and I'll bring it up some other time this week. But people look up the American Party. The American Party. Just look it up on Google. They had a group of followers, Nate. They were called, guess what? The Know Nothings. It was the American Party, and they were called the Know Nothings. Look it up, folks. And when you read the description of this party, tell me if it doesn't sound like the Republican Party. I think it'll be like a fun little trivia question. I mean, I can't give out a hoodie, but it would be pretty fun when you look at it like, damn, Glenn, they sound just like Republicans. Protect our liberties, our traditions. That all type of stuff. Keep the Catholics away. Back then it was the Protestants versus the Catholics. So, hey, Nate, I appreciate it, man. I put everything on hold to get that call in. Like I said, the Leonard Pitts interview, man, it was on fire. I'm like you, man. I used to read it all the time in the Cincinnati Enquirer. Remember when he used to be there every single Sunday or, throughout the week? Man, you can't find them.
Mm-hmm.
I missed your interviews with Dr. Earl. Back in the day, man. Dr. Earl was fired.
Yeah, Dr. Earl is fired. The time frame doesn't link up for him. Like, they're 3 hours behind. Drop is be able to deal with it, but Dr. Earl is not. So maybe I'll pre-record something. I think he's open for that and bring his voice back to the show. Yeah, he got a very powerful, very, very powerful mind.
Man, I'm gonna get with you, Nate. Man, yep. I got to get with you. So I got some ideas, man.
All right. You already know I got some ideas, man.
I kind of like the weekend review, the political caddy. I do because with Leonard, when the interview with Leonard Pitts, Nate, and you brought up Ice Cube, and you brought up P. Diddy, and you brought up, defund the police. he had the same reaction a lot of us had. Like, you know, first, these Negroes, and then second, the whole defund the police. And it's not about us, folks. It's about the other people out there that will not vote for you because they don't understand what defund the police is. When he talked about bad messaging, Nate, didn't I talk about that? Well, we talked about that, what, last week? Democrats need to take that criticism and run with it and build on it. You know, we can criticize our own. The biggest difference between the Democrats and Republicans, the Republicans, what? Their demographic is pretty much white males between 35 and 105. You know, in the Democratic Party, we got like, you know, we're like the movie The Warriors. You know, we coming out, everybody coming from different circles. You know what I mean?
I feel you,
We're
brother.
waiting for the guy to stand up there like, can you dig it? But, you know, that's the way it is. Hey, Nate, you have a good one, man. I appreciate you taking my call.
Most def. That's a subtle Warriors reference. Got to be cultural. You got to be, your cultural IQ got to be high. You know what I'm saying? Some of this might date some people out there, but really there's no excuses here, man. In the world that we live in with all this digital media. Damn it, man. I appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you for checking out the show. Thank you for sharing the show. But I got to make a move. Lots of stuff going on today. And I got to do my part in all of it. Listen, if you want to connect with me, all of my connection information is in the description on Facebook and also on YouTube. You can link with me, and if you want to text me directly, if you got any tips on stories, things going on, you can hit me up. My number's right there. You can send me a text message at any time, and I will respond. So let me say this. Shout out to the Choppers. Viva la Team NI. And shout out to my patrons. If you missed it, patrons, I did name each and every one of you on today's show earlier to kick things off. I try to do it at least once per month, but really I want to do it once a week because you're helping us build. You're helping me build this platform. To do anything, it takes resources. And I believe that in a world where it really comes down to content, just making sure you have the tools to properly to deliver and develop your content means everything. And that's where your resources and your money is going. So for as little as $2 a month, you can become a patron. It's sort of like a show within a show. I do a special show just for my patrons called Fade to Black. Only you get access to it. And then there's other things involved as well. So kind of check it out. See if there's a tier level that you feel comfortable with. And then join our mission to amplify Black voices. All right, it's real simple. And with that, family, I got to make a move. Have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. All right. Remember our motto. How's it go? Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. I'm Nate Ivey, and I'm out.
Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a f, that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a f, I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get on my God, on my totem, it's nothing. In the discussion, got them feelings, I throw all my pain on percussion. The disgusting. I hear them bragging about that they did, and it do not move me, not in the least. They ain't been dropping no seeds in the soil, but swear that you.